just trying to put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything.
He destroys. My mouth speaks the praise of Yah, and let all flesh bless his set apart name forever and
And
ever.
never. All praise.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All praise to the Most High.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise
Man,
Yah,
all
man.
praise to the Most
Praise the
High,
Most
Praise
High.
man.
y'all. Praise y'all.
Hey, y'all nasty, boy. Y'all nasty, man. Y'all know how to get somebody's spirit jump. Hallelujah.
All praise.
Hallelujah, man. I'm telling you, man.
Selling they soul, liquor and dope. Letting go of the rope, young in the old, slippery slope. Proverbs 1 and 24 is the cause of our woes, we don't even know. So many in the city lack a father. Ain't no winning till we turn back to the Father. No quitting, remain willing to go harder for the Abba.
You got good people out there. You still got to follow the commandments.
That the money come with problems and we got no way to solve them. If you got it, then you got them. Best believe that, bro. Open up the Bible, you will find yourself
And
inside
this is the message which we have heard from him and announced to you, that Elohim is light, and in him is no darkness at all.
In the scriptures, love life and put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to.
I was thinking we actually, since you said that, I was looking at Psalm 66, and that's what is going on. You know,
Just trying to put the Father over everything, yeah. Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. Could care less about the power. You could keep the rings. I'm just trying to put the Father over.
That's when that lust kick in, man. You always got to be dealing with that fight, that daily flesh fight every day.
every
Every
day.
day.
Jews look strange to Americans. They ain't used to seeing Torah keeping people with no Satan in them. Some of us only keep the
I was
laws
able
in
to
our
connect
actions.
to one of our elders in Africa of the Limba tribe.
Till we discover the truth in that days, we be doing something different. We follow the Abba to the T with no permission. Wrestling for blessings like your code, we on a mission. Fully understanding we're the vehicle to bring the truth to others while maintaining that Yahuwah is the engine. I don't think you heard me, I said Yah must be the engine. The Messiah came in his name, he is on one accord with him. In this land of kid, I'm always second guess doctrine that's polytheistic and not keeping the Father central. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. Could care less about the
I don't think the Most High made a mistake. That's how I look at it. He knew what was going on. He knew what he was going to do. He knew how it was going to play out. You know what I'm saying? He declared the end from the beginning. So if it went like that, it meant to go that way.
Less about the power, you could keep the rings. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything, yeah. Father over everything. Father over everything. Power, you could keep the rings. Father over everything, yeah.
I know y'all Hebrews, and I know it's late. So, Shabbat Shalom. I love y'all, man.
Love,
Love
bro.
you
You,
too,
bro.
Yeah.
Love, brothers.
Hey, Shabbat.
Right on. All praises. That's for sure. All right. Psalms 146. Praise Yah. Praise Yahuwah, oh my being. While I live, I praise Yah. I sing praises to my Elohim while I exist. Do not put your trust in princes, in a son of man in whom is no deliverance. His spirit goes out, he returns to his earth. In that day, his plans perish. Blessed is he who has the El of Yaakov for his help, whose expectancy is in Yahuwah, his Elohim, maker of the heavens and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, who is guarding truth forever, doing right ruling for the oppressed, giving bread to the hungry. Yahuwah releases those who are bound. Yahuwah opens the eyes of the blind. Yahuwah raises those who are bowed down. Yahuwah loves the righteous. Yah guards the sojourners. He lifts up the fatherless and the widow. But the way of the wrong ones, he turns upside down. Yahuwah reigns forever, O Zion. Your Elohim to all generations. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. All praise to the Most High.
Sure.
All praise.
Okay.
All praises. Hey, we're gonna start this off with a video.
Okay.
But it's on your messenger. But you know, first and foremost, all praise to the Most High Yah. You know, praise Yah for you brothers. You know what I mean? That we are even able to deal with this topic. You know what I'm saying? Most High brothers together. You know, we pray that Most High willing, you know, we all can understand it. Hey yo, big up.
It's under sex is marriage.
Nah, it's not regular messages.
Okay.
Hey, make sure you got that mute button on Shag.
Hey, you ain't got I'm going straight to mute right now.
Make sure you got that mute button hot and ready for Shag.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna be on mute too. I want to listen in. I'm gonna be on mute too.
I'm gonna be on mute, but I'm put my face on the screen so you can see my facial reaction.
So let me tell y'all what we're dealing with. So the topic is, you know, I'm gonna ask a question: is sex marriage, right? So we see Most High willing to get that understanding. We're gonna start it off with this video right here. Why she's waiting until marriage.
Sure.
You might have to restart it.
Yeah, I will. Let's see. I gotta.
Virgin?
Yes.
And how old are you?
I'm 21.
Why haven't you done the deed yet?
The key to a strong society is family. And so, in my view, choosing my future husband is like the most important decision I'll ever make. And I'm somebody that I know my heart, and I know that I fall really hard when I meet somebody. So I want to retain some level of objectivity when I'm selecting a future partner. And I know that if I had sex with them, I would be completely imprinted on them. And instead of being like, okay, is this person, do they have the qualities that I'm looking for in a husband, or am I just making it work?
Is there any reason why you're dressed so modestly instead of revealing like most women tend to do when they come out to Miami?
It's respectful to others and to my future partner, and to myself, to just cover myself up more. I know that I, take care of myself. I'm pretty athletic, but I don't need to have that on display.
Are you a virgin?
Yes.
That's it.
I like that. I like the way she answered that. Yeah, and the way she, I like the way she carried herself.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, real beautiful.
And I want brothers to keep in mind, just keep this in mind, lock this in your head. When she said she's forever imprinted on them, right? I just keep that in mind. She said when she lays with them, she know that she will be forever imprinted on them. So I'll keep that in mind, all right?
Okay.
Let's get the definition of marriage. We're gonna get the definitions of marriage real quick.
You got it, Root?
Yeah, we're gonna pull these up. Every definition I'm gonna need on the screen.
Okay, you got it up.
They type in marriage definition.
Marriage is the legal union of two people who are called spouses.
The legal union.
Type in marriage and type in definition.
Let me see. That it?
Nah, it's the one. Yeah, marriage definition. Yeah. Space. There you go. Definition, yes, sir. All right, so let's get this definition, and we should hit that button for similar too. So we can
Okay.
read that.
The legally or form recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship, historically and in some jurisdictions specifically, a union between a man and a woman, a happy marriage.
Let's get some of them similars.
Okay.
All right, let's get the
Similar,
others.
wedding,
You got it.
wedding ceremony, marriage ceremony. What's that? Nuptials, union, big day, spousal. Opposite, divorce, splitting up.
You got some more similarities right there. You see similar to the second part, similar. Get those.
Okay. Union, alliance, fusion, amalgamation. Should have had Shag read these words. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's all good. But you know, I had a definition that said acceptance, approval, and it said coming in agreement. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm wrong. The key word for marriage is union, and that's the key word.
Union. Okay.
Key word union. So you
Legal
see that
union
word
of two
espousal?
spouses.
That I want to click that word espousal, or you get the definition of espousal for me.
Okay, where's that word? Let's see. You see it on the screen?
Let's see, where is it?
Espousal.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay, here we go. An act of adopting or supporting a cause, belief, or way of life.
Way of life. So let's get that definition, let's get that full definition of this espousal real quick. This is under marriage, right?
Yeah, here it is. An act of adopting or supporting a cause, belief, or way of life.
Active adoption. That's huge right there.
Mm-hmm. And it's also a way of life, right?
Yeah, that too. The way of life.
Way to live. And the key word that we got here that I like with the espousal, we got acceptance, we got approval, and we got coming in agreement. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when people have sex, right? You come together in agreement, right? You accept what's going on. You also form a union. You know what I'm saying? When you go into a woman, but this is what they're saying. Marriage is, right? A union, being in agreement, approval, coming, acceptance. You know, coming together. So the thing is, let's see. Looking at the scripture, we could get, and we could say sex is marriage based off the definition that we just read today.
Mm. Okay.
Anybody want to read this?
Got you, bro.
Adam got you. Wait a minute. Let me mute up. Wait a minute.
It's gonna be Genesis 2. We're gonna read 1 through 7. Then we're gonna jump 18 to 25.
All right.
My bad. Get my messed up.
Hey, Mars said mute him. He at work, but he listening in.
All
right. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their array. And in the 7th day Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the 7th day and set it apart, because on it he rested from all his work which Elohim and creating had made. These are the births of the heavens and the earth then they were created, and the day that Yahuwah Elohim made the earth and the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
No shrub of the field was yet set on earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up. For Yahuwah Elohim had not set rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the entire surface of the ground. And Yahuwah Elohim formed the man out of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils breath of life. And the man became a living being. And Yahuwah Elohim planted. Oh, we going 8 or we jumping? And Yahuwah Elohim said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I'm going to make a helper for him as his counterpart." And from the ground Yahuwah Elohim formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living being, that was his name. So the man gave names to all livestock, and to all the birds of the heavens, and to every beast of the field. But for the man, there was not found a helper for him as his counterpart. So Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in his place. And the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from the man, he made it into woman. And he brought her to the man. And the man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This is called woman, because she was taken out of man. For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, yet they were not ashamed."
All right. So what we just read was, and what the main focus is that the Most High literally took what was from Adam, literally took a piece of Adam and literally put it into Eve, right? And that's why Adam said, "This is flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone," in the literal sense. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 through 20.
And Elohim, who raised up the master, shall also raise up through his power. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Messiah? Shall I then take the members of Messiah and make them members of a whore? Let it be not. Or do you not know who is joined to a whore is one body? For he says, "The two shall become one flesh." And he who is joined to the master is one spirit. Flee whoring. Every sin that a man does is outside the body, but he who commits whoring sins against his own body. Or do you not know that your body is the dwelling place of the set apart spirit who is in you, which you have from Elohim, and you are not your own? For you were bought with a price. Therefore esteem Elohim in your body and in your spirit, which are of Elohim.
All right. So let's go back to, let's take a close look at 14. We're going to still deal with that. We're going to break that down. We're going to take a close look at verse 14. Right? And what does it say in verse 14? It says, "And Elohim, who raised up the master, shall also raise us up through his power." So why are we talking about Mashiach? And then the next verse it says, and it's saying to you, "Do you not know that your bodies are members of Messiah?" Right? So why does that go together? Because when you come under Christ, you are one with Christ. You know what I'm saying? So he's letting you know, and Elohim, who raised up the master, shall also raise us up through his power. That's why it says, "Do you not know that your bodies are members of Messiah?" Because we are one with Christ, right? Shall I then take the members of Messiah and make them members of a whore? Let it not be. Let's keep reading. Go ahead, 16. "Or do you not know that he who is joined to a whore is one body?" What do you do with a whore? You have sex with a whore. That right? So it says, when you have sex with this whore, For he says the two shall become what? One flesh. And he who is joined, right? So that's plain, right? You become one. So he's telling you, once you have sex with a whore, you become one flesh with that person. Right? And it says, because your body's not yours. So let's get the definition for join. That's what we gotta do now. So what does it mean to be joined, right? So you are joined with a whore. What does it mean to be joined? Like I said, yeah, I like that too. I said once you become joined with Christ, your body's not your own. Let's get this definition of join. Joint, Doc. Let's get that word join. Okay. It says join. Okay. We good. Let's get that definition. Let's look at them similars. So we see different similarities, right? Connect, unite. But I got the main points that I want brothers to check out is unite. You got bind, and you also have marry, right? So it says that once you are joined with a whore, you become one with that whore, all right? And so what we're looking at here is the similar definitions is bind, unite, and it also has marry, right? And yeah, I become one flesh. Let's go to Genesis chapter 16, verse 1 through 9.
Note it also said merge there too. You merging two bodies together. Just think about that too.
And attach.
Merge, attach, right?
Right.
Couple.
Secure, lock. Right. Tie, bind.
Yep. Locked in, yoke. Yep.
Chain together. Blend together. Here. Yeah. Okay. I had to come off mute. I might have some things.
You good.
All right. First Kings.
Genesis chapter 16, verse 1 through 9. Anybody else can read this?
All right. Genesis 16, 1 through 9. You want to keep going, Adam?
Yeah, I keep going. Nobody want.
Or if anybody else.
Okay. I got you. And Sarah, Abram's wife, had borne him no child. And she had a Mysterian female servant whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said to Abram, see, Yahuwah has asked me from bearing children. Please go unto my female servant. It might be that I am built up by her. And Abram listened to the voice of Sarah. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her female servant, the Mysterian, and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife. After Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and he went into a Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarai said to Abram, my wrong be upon you. I gave my female servant into your bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. Let Yahuwah judge between you and me. And Abram said to Sarai, see, your female servant is in your hand. Do to her what is good in your eyes. And Sarai treated her harshly, and she fled from her presence. And the messenger of Yahuwah found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's female servant, where have you come from? And where are you going? And she said, I am fleeing from the presence of Sarai, my mistress. And the messenger of Yahuwah said to her, return to your mistress and humble yourself under her hand.
There's a lot. There's a lot we're going to deal with. Let's go back up to verse 2, I believe. I'm going to where Sarah gave Abraham gave Hagar into Abraham's hand. So I guess we're going to 3. Let's go to 3. Let's take a close look at 3, right? Now I'm gonna read it. And Sarai, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her female servant, the Mizraim, and gave her to her husband, Abraham, to be his wife. Now, this right here, we could say, man, she gave Abraham Hagar did they do a ceremony? Did they do that before he even slept with her? I don't know. That's possible. Let's keep reading. But it says, after Abraham had dwelt, and this is 10 years, right? 10 years in the land of Canaan. And then it says he went into Hagar. So, but the thing is, okay, so did Sarah and Hagar, did Sarah give Abraham Hagar, and did they do a ceremony? And so are we saying that when Abraham slept with her, that's when Hagar became his wife? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? And if another thing to take a close look at, let's go down to where the messenger was talking to Hagar, right? Messenger found her by the spring water in the wilderness, okay? And he said, let's go 8. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's female servant, where have you come from and where are you going? Right? And she said, I'm fleeing from the presence of Sarai, my mistress. But this is Abraham's wife, right? Ain't the man over the woman, right? Why is Hagar fleeing from Abraham? Let's keep reading. And the messenger, well, why is Hagar fleeing from Sarah, right? But she should be going to her head. And the messenger of Yahuwah said to her, return to your mistress. Why he's not saying to return to Abraham? Why is he telling Sarah to return to the mistress and to humble yourself under her hand? This is Abraham's wife.
What's the definition of a mistress?
Yeah, okay, I'm about to say, let's say law real quick.
I can pull it up real quick.
Okay, oh yeah, well yeah, we ready to get the definitions? Go ahead, I know we didn't get a chance to run it, so let's get the definitions then.
A woman in a position of authority or control. So basically, it's just somebody in control. She is always mistress of the situation. Lover, girlfriend, kept woman.
Lover, girlfriend, kept woman. Kind of hit her on the head, right?
Number 2, it say a woman having, and I will get that definition, what's that say?
Marital. Having an extramarital sexual relationship, especially with a married man.
Take a look at
especially with a married man. So that's like a
side piece.
Exactly. A side piece.
You ain't supposed to say nothing, not.
Hey, I'm so. Hey, you don't even know I'm so cocked and loaded over here. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
But
I'm ready.
Everything y'all asking the questions, but the scripture already told you. You saying, why did she flee from Abraham? Abraham said, do what you want with your servant. I didn't ask for her. You gave me her. You came to me and said, take her as a wife. And then Abraham went into her, and Sarah dealt harshly with Hagar. And when she dealt harshly, Abraham said, do what you want with your servant. I ain't asked for her. But again, you asking these questions, but the scripture already telling you the answer. But go ahead. I keep
Bible says mixing of the body fluids. Let me let y'all know that.
And then how y'all just blossom over that one definition, espousal. You never dealt with it in an archaic form. We're dealing with scripture. Scripture is old. Scripture is archaic.
Hey, break that down when you say archaic form, Shaq. What does that mean?
Archaic form means in the older form that it was used in. What you read about espousal was the modern day term. Under it, it said archaic and it said to marry. But nobody read that. Nobody read that. So we're just picking and pulling what we want at this point. But go ahead.
We all dealing with it. Okay.
Yeah, I told you to talk stay on mute till he was done.
Look,
mute that brother,
if you see stuff like that though, fam, as we going through it, point it out so it can be understood though, brother.
That's why we all get to break down together. I like that.
Hey, I was already told hold all my comments for the end. I'm holding my tongue the best I can, big man, right now.
But the way you came out, that was cool. If you hold it on to the end, man, you're gonna be shooting bullets all night, man.
No, we need to brought out as we reading over it, reading past it. So just because all we looking for, brother, is the true meaning and the true, you know what I'm saying, the truth of this.
Yeah, we all trying to get some understanding. So
Listen,
you know,
I'm just being, you know, a brother just doing what he told to stay on me.
If you get that definition out for espousal, go ahead and bring it out when you get a chance.
Look, should we be looking in the Strongs for these definitions?
We don't really necessarily have to. We're going to Google and
I don't know if it matters.
It's saying it right there. Archaic form, meaning the older form of how we using it. And we using it in the archaic form, not in modern day terms. So you can go back to espousal and it's going to say to marry. That's what espousal meant.
Where you see the arcade? I didn't see that. The Arcadian form, you said?
Archaic. Go back to espousal. Look up the definition.
Brother, we searching for the truth of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, that's let's say it's number 2, archaic. That's how we're using this word. We're not using it in this modern definition, the noun. We're not using it in that aspect. We're using it in the older term, how it was used in the archaic form. And it says marriage or engagement.
Okay.
And that's fine. So the question is sex marriage, right? So that's fine. That's good. So to know that. Let's get back to that Genesis.
All right, Genesis 2.
Uh-huh.
16,
so we found out. Go ahead. Are you saying something?
No, I was saying Genesis 16, right?
Yeah, right back there. So the whole thing is, so we seen that Hagar was a mistress. Like Ox said, she served a purpose, right? What was the purpose she served? We read it earlier, right? Sarah couldn't have babies. So what did she do? She said, hey, Abraham, go into my maid servant, right? Hagar. She was already a maid servant. Let's go up. Let's just go. Let's deal with it. What does it say? Was it 2?
Verse 6, it says, and Abraham said to Sarah, see, your female servant. He didn't even call Hagar his wife. He didn't say, see, my wife is in your hand. He said, see, your female servant is in your hand. Do what is good in your eyes.
Mm-hmm. He says that, but we go up to verse 2. What does it say in 2 or 3? What does it say? Right, 3? It's okay, 3. Let's go 3. And Sarai, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her female servant, right? So she's a female servant. We got the understanding, and gave her to her husband Abraham to be his wife. I mean, that's a plain text. So she went from, she always was a servant, but why did it change her title? Why didn't it just say to be? Why didn't it just say, and Sarai took Hagar, her female servant, and gave her to Abraham to be his servant? It didn't say that.
That's a good point.
Because, like you said, when you bringing it that way, what do we call Abraham? The father of righteousness, right? So now we seeing to be, if he were to say just to lay with her, how would you look at Abraham now? Oh, he just laid with Hagar.
right? So now we see marriage is supposed to be something sacred. If we're saying sex is marriage, where's the sacredness in marriage, right?
Well, sex.
So wait. We just dealing with this verse 3, like you said. So this verse 3 is proving that marriage is sacred, right? Mm-hmm. So he gave her to be and gave her to be the husband, right? Or wife. Hagar to be a wife, right? Verse 3 says Sarah, Abraham's wife, clearly said Abraham's wife took Hagar, her female servant, the Mizraim, and gave her to her husband Abraham to be his wife. So your first question was, we don't know. That's exactly what you said. We don't know if they had a ceremony or what. Mm-hmm. But to have a ceremony, that's not even really important to have to make somebody your wife. Some people don't ever have ceremonies. They might just go to the judge or something, right? So we already know who the true author and judge is over Abraham and Sarah, the Most High, right? Mm-hmm. So it's in righteousness to be his wife. And after Abraham dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and he went into Hagar, she was already made his wife in righteousness. After she was made his wife in righteousness before the Almighty, the judge, he went into Hagar and she conceived.
All right, that's cool. But the whole thing is, just like you said, marriage is sacred, so is sex. Sex is just as sacred. So for them to do a sacred act such as to have sex, regardless, she's being called the wife, right? To have sex, that's a sacred act. We're gonna get some understanding on that. But Hagar served a purpose. Her purpose was to have a baby. Let's go to 1 Kings 11, verse 1 through 3.
It's good, brothers.
We could pass the reader if you want.
Okay, let me mute up. Man, calling my dog.
Let me get it.
You go ahead. Nobody else reading, but you got it.
All right. And sovereign Shelemah loved many foreign women, in addition to the daughters of Pharaoh, Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Tisdonian, and Hittite women, from the nations of whom Yahuwah had said to the children of Yasrael, you do not go into them, and they do not go into you, for they shall certainly turn away your hearts after their mighty ones. And Solomon clung to these in love. Mm-hmm. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart.
All right, and what we dealing with? Let's go back. Let's see 3, and it says, and he had 700 wives. That says, comma, princesses, comma, and 300 concubines. So, comma is showing you there's different, just like Hagar, different purposes and uses for these wives. They don't get specific, but we do get understand there's a separation.
Right. So you know it's saying and right. So it's a difference.
It's a difference. So you got wives, comma, princesses, comma, and then it says 300 concubines. So I'm not even sure that even being counted as a part of that 700 wife thing. It might be though. Just saying 300 concubines, but just saying, just showing that Solomon had plenty of wives. And this opened up discussion, right? You know, we got the page is growing. We getting a lot of subscribers. So, comment below, man, if y'all believe, that it's okay for a man to have more than one wife. You know what I'm saying? What about you, Shad? Do you believe a man can have more than one wife in these current times?
Man, if it's done in righteousness, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say no.
No. Okay.
No.
If it's done in righteousness, if it's done in lustful nature, then no.
It's actually funny because me and the sister been actually having this exact discussion, and it was pointed out that typically every time, generally this was done, you see basically something negative per se came from it. Even just like that with Sarah and Hagar, how Sarah turned right around and despised Hagar because she was able to conceive.
Yes, yes.
Then when you read the story of Joseph and how his brothers wanted to kill him, that was because they had different mothers. And the favoritism that Jacob showed to Joseph because he specifically loved Joseph's mother. So we was basically going back and forth to the fact of, although, because sin is transgression of the law, okay? So the fact that it wasn't condemned, it wasn't brought as a sin to take on more than one wife, but the question came up is, if it was righteous and blissful, why would negativity come from it? Because anything that's a blessing, would negativity come from it?
Right. And then, but just like you're saying though, think about the situations in which you use Hagar. Abraham never wanted Hagar, right? You use Jacob as an example. He never wanted Leah, right?
Yeah.
He only wanted Rachel. Abraham only wanted Sarah. That's where the negativity comes, because you're always going to have a favorite in that. And when you ask that type of question, can you have two wives? Originally, what you read in Genesis, it said, and the man and the woman, they going to become one, right? It didn't say that you're going to leave your father and mother and cling to your wives. It said it to your wife.
Right.
Wives are plural. Wife is singular.
Right? And that's why I say no too, Shad, because you say if it's done in righteousness, right? But what would be your purpose to have multiple wives?
Exactly.
What's your purpose?
That'll be the next question. What is your purpose? Right? Again, in every situation that we just looked at or seen, the man really only wanted one woman, right?
Yeah.
These other women was given to him. If we go read about Jacob, they Bilal and the other woman, they was given to him, right? Because the women was struggling and bearing kids.
But they was given to him for the Most High's purpose too, as well, though, right? Would you agree with that?
For the 12 tribes of years, right here. Without them other women, it wouldn't be 12 tribes, right?
Correct.
Hey, all right, brothers. We want to stick with the topic of sex marriage, but comment below. Let us know if you would like to get an in-depth discussion on dealing with this topic. You know what I'm saying? I just want to open up that door to that. You know what I'm saying? Get the people engaged, right? So y'all would like to see something about that? Just comment below. Let us know.
Okay.
All right.
That was a long advertisement right there. Hey, can we get the definition of concubines before we go, please?
Yeah.
Because y'all said you had 700 wives. You said there's a difference between wives, princesses, and concubines. And we just go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Okay, and then the question is, so out of that 700, basically the princesses and concubines was all combined in the saying of this 700 wives?
No.
I don't know. That sounds like it read like it was separate.
It is. Because again, it said wives, princesses, and concubines.
And it said he had 300 concubines, right?
Yes, because he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. That's the difference.
Yeah. That answers your question.
That's basically said he had 1,000 women. He had 1,000 women, right? But 700 of these women was his wives.
Was his wives. Yeah.
Right.
So what is a concubine?
Check it out.
A mistress.
In a polygamous societies, a woman who lives with a man but has lower status than his wife or wives.
Come on, man.
That's that archaic. I'm talking about. It says a mistress.
A mistress.
A side piece, right? So you would say same thing.
Yeah.
Side piece.
So my mistresses, Catwoman. So my question would be dealing with Hagar.
Okay.
Right? A woman who lives with a man but has lower status than his wife or wives. But I think Hagar was. You could call her a concubine.
This is another definition that pulled up on my phone. It says a sexual relationship between two people who are not or cannot marry.
What?
Just type in concubine. Not with the definitions. I just typed in concubine. I guess he erased definition. This is what pulled up first on mine.
Hey, even when you say that though, it's still, when you look at it, come back to a side piece, man.
But it's not married to him.
Right. You my side piece. You play your part. You know what I mean?
It's saying a concubine, he said he had 300 of these. What is it? What was that definition again? 300 of these. That what?
Go down, pull it down, Rude.
300. He had 300 women who he had sexual relationship with, but is not married to.
Not married to.
Mm-hmm. But what do you call that then? If you know what I'm saying? But go down. But I married according to who though? You know what I'm saying? I would add, my question would be, man, not married to according to who? Because then it says, let me see, I'm trying to say secondary, boom, 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 a woman right here, right there. A woman who lives in a harem and is kept for sexual purposes. And we seen that with Hagar. She was kept for a sexual purpose because Sarah couldn't produce a child. So Abraham slept with her, but it said that, it still said, yet she became his wife.
Yeah. Hey, you just said she was kept for a purpose, right? So again, was that the Most High's purpose though? Right. I think we see that was the Most High's purpose for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was the Most High's purpose.
Because if it was, he turned around and blessed Sarah to be able to bear a child after that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah had
purpose. It was his
Isaac,
purpose,
right?
Right. It was his purpose that get Abraham a child from his wife of the covenant.
Okay.
And it was Sarah and Abraham thinking they ain't gonna never have kids, so they did this without the Most High. Without the Most High's judgment or asking him should they do it. So when they did it, in the Most High eyes, I'm thinking, this is just me thinking, in the Most High eyes, he like, I didn't tell you to do it. It's okay. It's not okay to do it because you're gonna cause confusion in their house. But if you do it, I'm gonna let you go through the confusion. Because we all got free will to do whatever we want to do. Most High said he don't want to rule over robot. So if you do this, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. It's just like anything in life. When you do anything, like Paul said, abstain from all evil. If it's evil, stay away from it, or else you're going to have to deal with the consequences.
Okay.
It's a couple different things that the Most High, that's not in the Most High's law.
Isn't it also written? Isn't it written like that you have basically rules that go with if you take on more than one wife?
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know. That I don't know.
It is.
I think it's in Deuteronomy, I believe.
But the thing that basically is pointed out is the fact that it says if
right
you do this. This is the the way to do it if you do it
right, and that's why I said done in righteousness. That was the whole point, saying it has to be done in righteousness. Because, like you say, if you do it,
we got to look at that. We have to take a look at that. But then, what would be your purpose of having multiple wives? Then, what is your purpose?
That's the point.
The purpose for Abraham, right, to have more than one wife. He has two. It was Hagar was to have his baby. That was the purpose of Hagar, to produce a child.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that you guys are going hella really wide here. Because if we go all the way back to Adam, is to be fruitful and multiply, and then in regards to conception, it takes two to agree, that you're gonna, like Yamel said, two, you can't, if one doesn't agree, that's non-consensual. And so, and then third, another thing is that, God's spirit is in every, sexual act. So as to
Mm-hmm.
be barren women, there's barren women that have perfectly good bodies, perfectly good, nothing's wrong with them, but they can't get the seed of the Lord to slide in there, or it takes many, many tries, or even to the point, if we want to, I'm not going to go modern because they can do implant, but let's just go for the thousands of years that they, if you're a barren woman, that was just it for you. So, but that little light that comes when the egg hits the semen, that's what I believe to be God's light or God's breath. So to say that the sexual act doesn't have a sacredicity over marriage, I'm not quite sure about that. I'm not sure about that, but um, and then with the concubines, it has to be put in context that, the status of woman at that time. It's probably not a good thing that he had concubines, but to be either a concubine or out there by yourself, not married as a man, vulnerable, wars raging, to be honest, I'm not a female, nor would ever think that. But if I was inclined to step into that old age, um, 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 fragility of a woman back in those days, I would definitely be in the harem instead of being outside. And then I just want to wrap it around. I just throwing these out because you guys cover so much. And then with the question I have, the more important question opposed, aside from the comments I just made, is um, the wife chose the wife chose the servant.
Hagar. Mhm.
Hagar chose I'm just trying to say it the way I was thinking it. You guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The wife chose the servant, but the biggest thing that I was thinking was she a virgin? And if and the thing about it is, I don't think it says that, but I think that that's an important fact. She didn't see any other man. It was the best possible fit. And then, like I said, uh, if if she wasn't able to get pregnant, you know, uh, some people think that's a curse back in there, or God's not doesn't want to bless you with a child, or blah blah blah. So I'm kind of torn. I don't know either or, but I just thought about these little comments. I don't know what you guys think about them, but
That's a good point too.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna deal with a lot, brothers. We're gonna keep it going. But the main thing is that I wanted to point out we just dealt with was that these women served a purpose. You know what I mean? Hagar's purpose was to conceive a child, but yet and still Hagar was called. Get that mute button ready, Yahuda. But yet and still Hagar was called Abraham's wife, right? And regardless of what it may be, sex is sacred, right? So that's also whether marriage is sacred. But I like how I said, like, you can't downplay that when that light touches when the child is born, you can't downplay that. You know what I mean? That's very sacred. Sex is sacred. You're not just out here just doing the deed. But let's go to Testament of Judah, chapter 13. We're gonna read that whole chapter 14.
Okay, then another thing too, you got to think about it. Sometimes you don't get pregnant on the first time you have sex. So Abraham was probably, go check on the dogs real quick. He going to that shelter.
Well, it did say 10 years, right? 10 years, then she bear him a child, right?
Then she bear him a child. So he was up in and out of there then, huh?
Over the course of years, possibly.
Possibly. Possible. Okay. All right. You want me to hit this one?
You want to hit this? Yeah.
Yeah, I hit it. Testament of Judah, chapter 13. And now I command you, my children, Listen to your father Judah, and keep my sayings to perform all the ordinances of the Most High, and to obey the commands of Elohim. And do not walk after your lusts, nor in the imaginations of your thoughts, in haughtiness of heart, and do not glory in the deeds and strength of your youth. For this is also evil in the eyes of the Most High.
Whoa,
Since
whoa,
I,
whoa, whoa. Okay,
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry. So when you look
that's
at
all
2, right, it says, do not walk after your lust, nor in the imaginations of your thoughts and the haughtiness of your heart. And we just see what Solomon had, right? And that was
right,
evil in the Most High's eyes, right?
right.
So is it okay to have these many wives, right? Because clearly it looked like he's walking after his lust.
For sure.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gonna deal with that, brothers. You know.
Okay.
I can see if you had like 1 or 2, I mean like 2 of them, maybe 2 or 3, but he had 700.
Man.
And another
And
thing dealing with Solomon was he dealt with the other nations. He wasn't supposed to have been doing that.
Right.
for
Right,
sure.
So his heart was
right.
already taken away too. So now he just out there.
But wait, I'm gonna pose a question though. I'm gonna pose a question though. Now y'all brothers, come on now. But the thing is, you're not legal. You're not supposed to be legally. You're Israel. You're Israel. You're not supposed to be with these other nations. So why is it they're saying that these other women, the other nations, were even called his wife? How'd they even get that title of wife then? If legally you wasn't even supposed to be married to these other nations anyway, but yet
Because
still it was called his wife. But we're not. Let's deal with the comment below. But we gotta stay on it's sex marriage. You got it up.
gotcha.
Okay. Verse 3. Since I also glory that in wars no beautiful woman's face ever enticed me, and reprove my brother Reuben concerning Bilhah, the wife of my father. The spirits of jealousy and of fornication arrayed themselves against me until I laid with Bathsheba, the Canaanite, and Tamar, who was espoused to my son.
And we just dealt with that definition of his spouse.
So he confessing he ain't do it not just once. All right. For I said to my father-in-law, I will take counsel with my father, and so I will take your daughter. And he was unwilling, but he showed me a boundless store of gold in his daughter's behalf. For he was a king, so she had a lot from her father. And he adorned her with gold and pearls and caused her to pour out wine for us at the feast with the beauty of women. And the wine turned, and the wine turned, and the wine turned my eyes aside, and pleasure blinded my heart. And I became enamored, and I lay with her, and transgressed the commandment of the Most High.
So here we had Judah drunk, and he laying with a woman.
He lay with her and transgressed the commandment of the Most High and the commandment of my fathers. And I took her to be my wife. And the Most High.
My thing is, so is he saying like, man, after I slept with her, I went and married her? Go ahead, though.
Yes. Yeah, good question.
And the Most High rewarded me according to my imagination of my heart, inasmuch as I had no joy in her children.
You rewarded him with according to the imagination of his heart, right? Yeah, think about that. Is that good or bad? Because he rewarding you to the imagination of your heart. So it's like we got free will, we got choice, right? In other words,
Right.
it's saying in your bed,
Hey, can you go to 13:2 real quick?
Yeah, but I say that 13 say don't deal with that. You got it up.
You said chapter 13?
In verse 2, yeah.
And do not walk after your lust, nor the imaginations of your thoughts, and the haughtiness of heart. And do not glory in the deeds and strength of your youth, for this is also evil in the eyes of the Most High.
And ain't that just about everything we just read that he did?
Yeah, right. So he's gonna reward you to the imagination of your lust, your own heart. So now you got to deal with it now, man, right? You got to deal with it.
And that's why he didn't have no joy in his kids, and the kids of him. See what it said? He said, and the Most High rewarded me according to the imagination of my heart, inasmuch as I had no joy in her children.
And her, right? Because he had children from a Canaanite woman, right?
Man.
And now 14, 1 through 3, right, Yamael?
Yeah.
Okay. And now, my children, I say to you, do not be drunk with wine, for wine turns the mind away from the truth and inspires the passions of lust and leads the eyes into error. For the spirit of fornication has wine as a minister to give pleasure to the mind. For these two also take away the mind of man. For if a man drinks wine to drunkenness, it disturbs the mind with filthy thoughts, leading to fornication, and heats the body to carnal union.
Carnal union.
Say it again.
It says carnal union.
Yep, carnal union. And if the occasion of the lust is present, he works the sin and is not ashamed.
All right. So let's get the definition of union, right? Because whether it's carnal or on purpose, it still was a union formed, right? Just like the Most High said, if you lay with a whore, you become one with the whore. You become one flesh with the whore. So let's get the definition
I'm glad you brought that up, because we got to go back and read that. Because what you said that's not what that scripture say, for sure. It's not talking about laying with a whore. It's talking about if you whore in your body, because your body is one with Mashiach. But we'll go back and read it.
Let's get the definition of union. We'll deal with that. And let's get them. Let's see them similar. What does union say?
The action or fact. My bad.
No, you got it, Adam.
The action or fact.
Get it bigger.
Okay.
Go.
The action or fact of joining or being joined, especially in a political context.
So it says the fact of being joined or joined together. When you sleep with somebody, you are joined with that person. You have came together. All right.
And suddenly you are merging together, joining together.
Agreement, right? Approval. We read that earlier.
Right. But none of these definitions say married.
Hold on. It's on there. Let's get that other one up. The other similar. No, yeah, there you go. And bring that down. This is definition of union, right?
Yeah, brotherhood, fraternity, partnership, combine, lead.
Go up a little bit. Cause I'm looking for marriage. I had that on my key, not the other way. Like to the first one, man. Let's see what we got. Merging.
I don't know. Miracles up in here. I think it was. when
It's
when
not
we was talking about another word, marriage was in it.
Unification, merging.
Because
Mhm.
like
It's showing a little bit different on mine. So I got union. I can send you the screenshot too. 'Cause I definitely had. What did you type in? Yeah, union
just
definition.
definition.
I'm gonna show you what I had. I'll send it to you in the messenger. So that way, brothers don't think I'm making things up. Cause it definitely popped up for me yesterday.
Oh no, no, no. We'll figure it out together, bro.
This is an excellent topic, though. Either way,
Yeah, we
yeah.
I agree. Yep.
Hey, it seems like if marriage was that important in the union, it would have been one of the first definitions. That's all I'm saying. You got to search for it like this.
Yeah.
Here you go right here. Here you go right here.
Well, yeah.
Okay, a state of harmony or agreement. They live in perfect union. Similar union, accord, harmony, concord, agreement. A marriage. Their union has not been blessed with children. Similar marriage,
There you go.
wedding, partnership, pairing, alliance. But
Yeah.
marriage, but this is really marriage, though. Yeah, this is intercourse. Yeah, that's deep right there when you say marriage and then got intercourse right here. But that's marriage too, though.
Yes, sir. So that's what we was looking for. That's what I was looking for. 'Cause I had it on my notes here. Was when I looked at the definition union, we had agreement, right? You're agreeing, right? Whether like it was carnally or not, you still come in. When you have sex with somebody, both parties must agree, right? You are joining together, right? That's marriage, right? They're becoming one flesh. I got a video. I sent it to you in the chat. You can check that out. It's in our regular conversation. So Judah said that this led to carnal union. All right. It's in our in messenger my bad. But it's in our not in our regular messenger chat though, not in the no topics or anything like that. And it's a 6-minute video.
Just sent it? Nah.
Wait, where is it? I'm gonna have to send it to you now. Hold on. I sent it to you last night. I don't know why it's not popping up. Yeah, it's right here. It's literally right here too.
You seen it last night? It's in this one? Why is she married?
No, I'm gonna try to send it to you right now. I'm trying to send it to you again. And I'm gonna send it to you right now. It should have been right there. You got it?
No, not yet.
Study.
Say what?
Study reveals. I just sent it to you.
Just now in Messenger?
Yeah, just now in Messenger, yeah. See if it pop up. Oh, and then pop up. Go to Sex is Marriage then. Let's see if it's in there. It's a video. It's all the way up top. It should be all the way up top. It's all the way up top. It's like it should be like a video. It says studies reveals. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Let's get that.
Does the body retain DNA from others' sperm?
All right, everybody knows that if you conceal carry, the most important thing to be able to do with your gun is actually put around.
Does the body retain DNA from others' sperm? Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Seattle. Mindfoster reports that women retain and carry living DNA from every man with whom they have sexual intercourse, according to a new study by the University of Seattle and the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. The study, which discovered this startling information by accident, was originally trying to determine if women who have been pregnant with a son might be more predisposed to certain neurological diseases that occur more frequently in males. The study found that females' brains often harbor male microchimerism, or in other words, the presence of male DNA that originated from another individual and are genetically distinct from the cells that make up the rest of the woman. According to the study, 63% of the women tested harbored male microchimerism in the brain. Male microchimerism was present in multiple brain regions. So the researchers wanted to know where the male DNA came from and determined that the possible sources of the DNA cells living in women's brains are an abortion the woman didn't know about, a male twin that vanished, an older brother transferred by the maternal circulation, and sexual intercourse. The first three options apply to a very small percentage of women. They couldn't possibly account for the 63% figure. The fourth option, it's rather more common. Sex. This has very important ramifications for women. Every male a woman absorbs spermatozoa from becomes a living part of her for life. However, this woman in Evo Biology disputes this claim. She queries, do women retain DNA from every man they've ever slept with? No. Well, here's the thing. We have to acknowledge, in these articles, this information might start to get censored. It might get, buried, because this obviously isn't flattering information to the current, promiscuity is empowering for women. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not like you're going to retain that man's DNA. This is absolutely not what they want to be the truth, but it seems like it is. No, where did the cells come from? She says that the most likely explanation is pregnancy. During implantation, embryonic cells are programmed to divide extremely fast and invade the mother's bloodstream. Sometimes they can establish populations in other parts of her body that survive for the rest of her life. Why do some women who've never been pregnant still have male cells? Most likely they haven't been pregnant, they just didn't know it. There are also two other plausible sources for the cells from an older brother that had been retained in the woman's mother or incorporated by the woman when she was growing in the womb, or cells from a male twin that was absorbed before birth. It's remotely possible that women might sometimes retain some non-sperm cells from male partners, since that's never been studied and biology is weird. But here's the thing, there's no currently reason to think it's true, and many reasons to think it's not. So here we have this other article. And this is essentially addressing what she's saying. She's saying, oh, there's plenty of other reasons. So scientists say there are only 4 ways male DNA cells are likely to show up in the female brain. So this is what that other doctor from Forbes was disputing. She's saying, oh, it's from an unknown abortion, possibly a vanished male twin, maybe an older brother transferred by the maternal circulation, or the one she hopes isn't true. Sexual intercourse. Finding a man's DNA in a woman's brain from the first 3 sources applies to only a small percentage of women. The only likely option researchers could account for in the study of the 63% of women who had it was, in fact, through sexual intercourse. The implications for women are great. When sperm enters a woman, it swims until it hits a wall and then seeps into her flesh. If it is in your mouth, it can get into your nasal areas, behind your eyes, and even your inner ear. It then enters your bloodstream and collects in your brain and spine. You can never get rid of it. Wow. With every man a woman has a sexual relationship with, she absorbs his spermatozoa, which becomes a part of you forever. The study autopsied the brain of elderly women, many of whom who had been carrying male DNA for more than 50 years. This startling discovery is only the beginning of understanding the true consequences of sexual intercourse. Wow. Wild. Here's the thing, man. I don't want this to be true. I'm not sitting over here saying like, oh yeah, I really want this to be true. I don't want this to be true at all, dude. I don't want this to be true at all. Why would we? Why would any of us? Most of these women aren't virgins. So does that mean any woman we get with who isn't a virgin is retaining DNA from her past partners? I certainly don't want that to be true. I fucking hope it's not, but it's very possible it is. This just spits in the face of feminism saying that promiscuity for women is a-okay, completely normal, has no effect on their psyche, has no effect on their biology, is a path to enlightenment as a woman, to discovering herself, to opening new venues, to learning who she really is, or healing from her past relationships by being passed around by the city. No, it turns out that all of these men are leaving DNA in your brain. This is brutal information. But to me, if it were true, it would not surprise me. But what does this really mean? If a man's DNA in a woman's brain is found from past partners, what does that really mean? Recently, scientists at the University of New South Wales discovered a new form of non-genetic inheritance and have shown for the first time that physical traits of previous sex partners can be passed on to future children. What the fuck? According to researchers, the effect is because molecules in the seminal fluid of the first male mate are absorbed by the immature eggs of the female, which then influences the development of the second male's offspring. And if you like that video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
So let's talk about the benefits.
Before brothers, hold on, before brothers start getting it, because we're gonna talk about it. But the lady in the first video must have knew what she was talking about when she says, "Whoever I sleep with, he will forever be imprinted on me." All right,
right.
And soul ties, right? You cannot find soul ties in the Bible, right? You're not finding that. But the Bible did read, as we read in that 1 Corinthians, if you lay with a whore, what do you do with whores? You have sex with whores. If you lay with a whore, you will become one flesh. Why would you become one flesh? The Most High didn't intend for sex to be just something that we do. Sex is for the person that you will be with forever. So the thing is, marriage is cool. Yes, of course, right? Do the ceremonies and all that. But that's why you're supposed to wait to the end. You know, we kind of jumped the gun. We wasn't raised right? Sex is not supposed to be a sport, bro. Sex is sacred. And that's why the Most High, from the beginning, he took from Adam and literally made Eve what he took from Adam, right? And the thing is, what we read was the woman retains our DNA. The man does not retain the woman's DNA. Why is that? Because woman was made for man. Adam said that he called woman because woman was made from me, right? The Most High made woman for the man. That's why the woman retains the DNA forever, man.
And that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Seriously.
All right. So, brothers,
it do make sense.
Yeah.
It's why it's so important. That's why it's called sexual intercourse. You know what I'm saying? Intercourse.
Yeah.
Intermingle, intertwine. You becoming one. Like you said, you become one flesh. And I seen a video before, like some people was together so long as they got older, they started to look kind of like each other because of the DNA, you know, that's so deep inside of them.
Oh wow.
Well, you know, let me just if I can jump in real quick, if nobody if I could. That you know that you know that I'm not saying Chad, don't crucify me on this one if I ain't using it right, but or excuse not crucify, but don't I'm just saying it how it's thinking in my mind. Like a Jezebel spirit, if we're gonna be real with it, there wasn't no condoms back in the day, they was just swashbuckling back to back and didn't care about that, and so if a woman that has a Jezebel spirit has slept with multiple men, it don't, dealing with what Yamel's saying is that
before you go on, Jay Andre,
let's get one thing straight before Shag jump on you. I want to be the one that be in between y'all. When you read about Jezebel, he said nothing about her sleeping with a lot of men. It was about her, being
hey,
dirty. It wasn't
then we
about
gotta get
her
the
sleeping with
definition
other
of
men.
Jezebel then. Okay.
We can
I
talk
agree
about
with
why.
I agree with you on that
Well,
real
let me
quick.
say this. Let me say this. Get the definition and Shag. Yeah. Could we say that there's a Jezebel spirit?
Mm. Or could we say
but
it's just the spirit of lust?
Right.
Okay.
And why
it ain't no spirit.
Okay.
It's a spirit of lust. That's be better because Jezebel
Okay.
ain't had nothing to do with lust.
Right.
Okay.
Shag
Okay.
gonna get
Maybe I
on you about
confused.
that.
Maybe I confused.
I won't be
Sometimes your
there.
boy be confused in scripture. It's happened
It's
more
all
than once.
good. It's all good.
But
I just had to say that before you go on with that Jezebel, because Shag had to rip somebody's head off a couple of days ago because of that.
But real quick, y'all, DeAndre don't get that from nowhere because when we seen the fast girl growing up, our grandmothers, our mothers would say she got a Jezebel spirit. So we understand what he's.
But here's the thing on that though.
Messed up women that be messed up in the head, out of order and out of place. But why are they like that? That's why.
Was our grandparents wrong though, Yamil, for saying that?
Go ahead, Op.
No, I hear what you're saying, but was our grandparents wrong for saying that though? Because if Jezebel has nothing to do with that, then to them that's just a figure of speech, then, right? Because it's clearly a spirit of lust.
And
well,
it
then
was
let's just move. Well, let's just move.
and they was in the wrong, just like a lot of other stuff that they said was wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's just a saying that we pick up to this day. That's all.
Right.
Like you said, Adam, it's a spirit of lust. It's a spirit of whoredom.
Yeah.
Because being a whore is a real thing.
Yeah. Or you might hear your grandparents say that fast tail girl.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
And what that fast tail girl doing? Talking back, nasty attitude. Cause they let these men in and out their life, bro. Why? Usually a woman got one baby daddy, then say no, she got another one. They like, yo, what happened? Why these men not staying? You know what I'm saying? We having like 5 kids and 4 different fathers and stuff. What's going on with this?
Because them brothers just want to hit something, being lustful. That's it.
But if we was, all right, so real quick, y'all, like I said, purpose, bro. Hey, Eve was made for Adam. You know what I'm saying? Hagar bare Abraham a seed because Sarah couldn't do it, right? So the thing is,
get that away from there. Sorry about that.
The reason why, but the reason why men, how we want a son, you know what I'm saying? But we need a woman to bear to raise up our offspring. All right. So real quick. So why we want a son? We want to keep our name going. You know what I'm saying? Women, they can't keep our name going. You know what I mean? So let's go to real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy 25, verse 5 through 6. I'm just trying to show you guys that woman is made for man. Like, just to get it simple, simply put, woman is made for man. There's a reason why they hold our DNA and we don't hold theirs, right? Plain and simple.
Okay.
Right? A woman has a purpose, right? What's her purpose? Let's get her purpose. Let's go to Deuteronomy 25. Let's see, I'm not skipping it. No, I'm not skipping that. Everybody can read that. 5 through 6.
I hit it.
Okay.
When brothers dwell together and one of them has died and has no son, the widow of the dead man should not become a stranger outside.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband's brother does go into her, shall take her as his wife and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be that the firstborn son which she bare does rise up for the name of his dead brother, so that his name is not blotted out of Israel.
There we go. That's plain, right? We go back up. I also want to deal with it. Why would his name be blotted out of Israel? Because, like I said, the generation, your ethnicity comes through the man. You know what I'm saying? So if that's why men, we want sons. If we die, you have nobody to continue your name. Let's go back up to 5 real quick. 5 up. Are you trying to do something?
So you're saying that purpose right there is to keep the man name going?
Yeah, so let's check this out real quick. When brothers dwell together and one of them has died and has no son, the widow of the dead man shall not become a stranger outside her husband's brother, but her husband's brother does go into her. So what's that woman's purpose? It's to keep these brothers' generation going. Just like Hagar had to have Abraham's seed. This is the purpose of the woman, right? To bear the children. You know what I'm saying? And then I was reading this, something interesting, right? Like you said, we read earlier, when a woman sleep with somebody, her DNA stays in that person. So that's why they say she can sleep with another man, but her first partner, that's deep within itself, that the first partner, that baby could come out kind of looking like him. Well, why is that? This woman has to stay with the brother because the brother probably slept with her. That DNA is in her already from the brother. So the brothers they're related. So let me get what you understand what's going on? That same DNA is already in her. Y'all understand, right?
Yeah, that's a good point too. But then I would say, man, what about all the women that Solomon had then?
Well, hey, he's sleeping with her. I personally feel like with Solomon, all the women he has, like I said, I'm coming from the term of sexist marriage, bro. So once Solomon lay with those women, that's his wife. He's now entangled with these women, bro. They're sacred acts.
Well, I also the breaking it down, how you've been breaking it down this whole time. It also shows the complexity. Women don't even know how complex their bodies are and how they should be keeping them sacred. All these things that they're able to create life, we're not, and that they should be very aware, marriage or sex, who they're dealing with, and I think that there's a lot of what you're saying. Go ahead.
Women and men, right? Just like Judah said, he had carnal union with that lady, and then he had children with her that he had no joy in. So we all gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? We both women and men. We gotta be careful who we lay down with, who we join ourselves with. Like I said, don't sleep with a whore because you become one with that whore. All right, so let's go to Numbers chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. We're gonna do.
Hey, before we do that, can we pull up the definition of a whore?
Yeah, pull it up.
Yeah, do you actually become one with them, or do they take your heart away like the Most High said when he instructed you not to do this, right? All these different nations.
Well, we read what that's the woman that we seen that in the center. You know what I'm saying? And sex, bro. Regardless, you're not supposed to just be out here having sex with women.
Yeah. When you do this act, you do become one. No matter what, you becoming one.
A prostitute.
Good one, brothers. Oh, the prostitute.
It's kind of plain.
The prostitute.
What's a prostitute?
A person who is willing to do anything to get a particular thing. And that particular thing, what they trying to get is money, right?
Or fulfilling the lust. Any more on that prostitute?
Can I interject one time? Let's always make sure we read what it says. Whore in a derogatory term. Just like last night, playing a video game, talking about some Gentiles, and I was like, y'all, I didn't call them gay, I called them a faggot, right? So we're still saying it. I'm still saying calling you gay, but I said it in a derogatory term. See what I'm saying? So every definition we're looking at is based on a derogatory term. So again, think about how we're using the definition right now. Are we saying every time we read whore in the Bible, are we using a derogatory term and calling every whore in the Bible a prostitute?
That's important to look at it like that too, though. It is important.
Yeah, whoring after other gods. You know what I mean? Worshiping other gods.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah. And that's why it is kind of important to look at it like that, like you just broke it down too, Shaq. So you got to get a clear understanding on it. What are we talking about?
That First Corinthians was pretty clear, but it's all right. Let's keep it. You got it. Well, either way, you become one flesh. We seen DNA. You know what I'm saying? How that works. I mean, when you lay with a woman, you become one with that woman, man. But it's all right, brothers. Let's go to numbers. Read it 1 through 4. They're gonna jump 18 through 19.
And also comparing that Deuteronomy 24 that you just read, just compare that Numbers 27 with that. When you said because we all agree, every male does want a son to pass on his name, right? But Deuteronomy 27 tells you what happened if you don't have a son to pass on your name. Go ahead.
We can get that. Pull it up. I missed that one.
What if you want to pull up?
You said Deuteronomy 27. If you don't have a son to carry your name.
Is that what you said, Shaq?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 24, Numbers 27.
We're not disagreeing that when you have intercourse and y'all become one and all these things like that. We're not disagreeing with that. But that's still not saying just because you mixed your DNA with somebody that you're married to that person now. It's not. We're losing topic right now because nobody's disagreeing that, oh yeah, you had sex with this person and now y'all intermingle spirits and y'all are entangled with one another. Nobody's disagreeing with that, but it's not saying that, oh, you had sex with him, now you're married to him.
No, well, if that was the case, how could a person be a whore?
Exactly.
Right.
How could a person be a whore? How could you commit adultery?
And how could you have wives and concubines?
Exactly. And it said his wives led him astray, not his concubines. He was just hitting them concubines, but they wasn't his wives. It said his wives led him astray. So again, we're not disagreeing when you're saying you mixing DNA and all that, but that's not saying that y'all married at all.
Hey, so you're saying his wives led him astray, not the concubines and everything.
So we got more.
Exactly. The wives led him astray, not the concubines. And we read what a concubine definition is. We read that. And he had all of these. So you're telling me he had concubines, but he wasn't sleeping with them? The definition of a concubine was somebody that he's having sexual intercourse with. But that's not his wife. That's not his wife. That's all we're saying. We're not disagreeing with the DNA and all that intermixing. But we're just saying, no, look at what we're reading. We can't keep on skipping over everything we're reading. His wives led him astray, not his concubine, not the princesses, his wives. He has 700 of them and 300 concubines. He's sleeping with concubines too.
All right. Okay. If we were saying sex was marriage, then he would have had 1,000 wives, not 700 wives and 300 concubines.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I want to see what that Deuteronomy 27 before we get these numbers that Shaq was talking about.
Was that Deuteronomy 27 out?
Yes, sir. No, Numbers 27 and all that. We just showing that what happens is, again, like Yamel said, we all want a son to pass on our name. But when you don't, that's when you get examples of women's and they'll keep their daddy's last name and have a hyphen in their last name. That's when you get somebody like in the NBA, a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He has two last names. Why? Because you will retain your mother's last name and then get, the other last name. You see what I'm saying?
Carry on your father's name.
Carrying on a woman is carrying on. That's when you get that woman that run track. She's carrying on her father's name. Her father might have never had sons to carry on his name, but she's going to carry on the name, and then she's going to hyphenate it and put her husband's last name.
You talking about Jackie Joyner Kersey?
I think so. That might be her. Or the one recent one.
Okay, what verse are we looking at on this number 27 now?
You started from 1. I'll read it, man. Then came the daughters of Siphlafad, son of Hefer, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, from the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. And these were the names of his daughters, not his sons, and these were the names of his daughters: Makakla, Noah, Tagla, Milcah, and Tarsha. And they stood before Moshe and before Eleazar the priest and before the leaders and all the congregation by the doorway of the tent of appointment, saying, our father died in the wilderness, yet he was not in the company of those who were met together against the Most High, in company with Kor, but he died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be removed from among the clan because he had no son? Give us a possession among the brothers of our father. Moshe then brought their case before Yahuwah. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, the daughters of Siphlafad speak what is right. You should certainly give them a possession of inheritance among their father's brothers and cause the inheritance of their father to pass to them. And speak to the children of Israel, saying, when a man dies and has no son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughters. I'll praise. Go ahead, Al.
I mean, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. But what we're bringing out in these numbers right now, they're dealing with, like I said, you know, like real simple. Like we understand, if you have an apple seed, you plant the seed, you get an apple tree. All we saying is, without the man determined, you know what I mean, keeps the generation going. You know what I'm saying? If a woman laid with that, there's a reason why we're not allowed to deal with other nations, right? Because if an Israelite woman dealt with an Edomite man and he plants that seed in the Israelite woman, then that seed is a Edomite. It's not an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm showing out. A man keeps the generation going, right? And that's why we said, like, dealing with women. Women carry the man's seed. That's why the Most High said, you know, we should deal with our own race. We just dealt with that. Should we mix seed? You know, mixed races and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we dealing with. But that was good. All right, so we got numbers 1 through 4. Then we're gonna jump 18 through 19, just showing the purpose of a woman.
Okay. Let me hear it. Go ahead, Adam.
And Yahuwah spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tent of appointment, on the first day to the second new moon, in the second year after they had come out of the land of Mizraim, saying, take a census of all the congregation of the children of Yisrael by their clans, by their fathers' houses, according to the number of names, every male head by head, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army of Israel, number them by their divisions, you and Aaron. And a man from every tribe should be with you, each one the head of his father's house. And these are the names of the men who stand with you.
You gotta skip,
Yeah, you ain't gotta read them. We ain't gotta read them. Jumping down to 18.
18
and 19.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second new moon. And they declared their ancestry by clans, their fathers' houses, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, each one head by head.
As Yahuwah commanded Moshe, so he registered them in the wilderness of Sinai.
All right. So that's what we're showing, man. Let's go to that Genesis. You know, woman was made for man. There's a reason why the woman retains the DNA and man don't retain DNA. All right. Woman carry the seed. Let's get a deeper understanding of that.
Okay, Genesis 3:6-13. Now keep moving up.
All right. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise. And she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made loin coverings for themselves. And they heard the voice of Yahuwah Elohim walking about in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahuwah Elohim among the trees of the garden. And Yahuwah Elohim called unto Adam and said to him, Where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself. And he said, Who made you know that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree which I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. And Yahuwah Elohim said to the woman, What is this you have done? And the woman said, The Nahash deceived me, and I ate. And Yahuwah Elohim said to the Nahash, Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all livestock, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you are to go, and eat dust. What'd you say, brother?
Okay, you finish this, and then we're gonna jump to 16. Go ahead.
Okay, on your belly you are to go, and eat dust all the days of your life. To the woman he said, I greatly increase your sorrow and your conception. Bring forth children in pain. And your desire is for your husband, and he does rule over you.
So we see, let's take a look at that curse, right? The cursed woman was to do what? To bring forth the children, right? That's what we've seen with Hagar and dealing with, you know what I'm saying? We dealt with Hagar. And also, like, why these women understand, now you understand why these women retain the DNA, right?
Hold on, you said the curse was, what did you say the curse was? It says sorrow in your conception, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now they bring it forth pain when they have children. That's what it sounded like the curse was for the woman, right?
And she had to bring, oh yeah, I got y'all. And like we read earlier, you know, woman was made, Eve was made for Adam, woman was made for man. So we get that understanding, you know what I'm saying, of why the Most High dealing with the man, how your bloodline come through the woman. I mean, come through the man, you know what I'm saying? But the woman, you know, she has to have that, she has to be the vessel, you know, carry that man's seed. All right, so that was that. So now we hold on, y'all.
Exodus.
Yeah, Exodus 24. Right here. Let's read. Yeah, let's read this real quick. Let's read this. Exodus 24, verse 1-8.
And to Moshe he said, Come up to Yahuwah, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Yisrael, and you shall bow yourselves from a distance. For Moshe shall draw near to Yahuwah by himself, and let them not draw near, nor let the people go up with him. And Moshe came and related to the people all the words of Yahuwah and all the right rulings. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which Yahuwah has spoken, we shall do. And Moshe wrote down all the words of Yahuwah and rose up early in the morning and built a slaughter place at the foot of the mountain and 12 standing columns for the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, and they offered ascending offerings and slaughter offerings of peace offerings to Yahuwah of bulls. And Moshe took half the blood and put it in, scroll it up. He put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the slaughter place. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the hearing of the people, and they said, all that Yahuwah has spoken, we shall do and obey. And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, see the blood of the covenant which Yahuwah has made with you concerning all these words.
All right. So what did it use to make a covenant? The Most High used blood to make a covenant. Why did he use blood to make the covenant? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 10, verse 1, 10 to 14. Right? So the Most High used blood to make a, and why did he use to make a covenant?
Life in the blood. That's right.
Okay. And Marvin mentioned mixing of the body fluids, remember?
Come on, brothers. We're gonna get to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Leviticus
17:10 through 14.
All right. And any man of the house of Yisrael, or of the strangers who sojourn among you, who eats any blood, I shall set my face against that being who eats blood, and shall cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the slaughter place to make an atonement for your lives. For it is the blood that makes atonement for life. Therefore I said to the children of Yisrael, no being among you, and scroll up. No being among you eats blood, nor does any stranger who sojourns among you eat blood. And any man from the children of Yisrael, or from the strangers who sojourn among you, scroll up.
Wait a minute, my bad.
All good. From the strangers who sojourn among you, who hunts and catches any beast or bird which is eaten, shall pour out his blood and cover it with dust. For it is the life of all flesh. Its blood is for its life. And I said to the children of Yisrael, do not eat the blood of any flesh, for the life of all flesh is blood. Anyone eating it is cut off. What are we going to, 16?
Oh, no.
14. 14, right?
Yeah. All right, now let's get the definition of covenant.
Okay. He said the blood is for atonement, right?
He said the life, but the main thing is life of all flesh is in the blood. Of all flesh, the life of all flesh is in blood.
Hey, and that's
covenant.
As we was reading, man, just want to give all praises to the Most High for his set apart son, man. That life in the blood for real. Atonement for your sins, man. Praise Yah for his set apart.
Praises.
All praises.
What word you say, Yamel?
The covenant. Covenant. The covenant definition of covenant. COVENANT. This is what the Most High used blood to make a covenant. We get that definition. Right? An agreement. Look at them similars.
An agreement. There was a covenant between them that her name was never to be choose. Contract, right? Contract. A pact.
Mm-hmm. Let's get another. Check that other one down there. There's another similar or no?
It's a bond, right?
Yeah, go bind oneself, right? Bind oneself. An agreement. Is it engage? You got that word engage in there. All right. So that's what happens when you make a covenant, right? You bind yourself. It's an agreement. We reread dealing with the definition of what? Union, right? It was agreement. The definition for union was agreement, right? You come into agreement with somebody. Covenant, same thing. And you bind yourself, right? So let's what happens when you take a woman's virginity? Let's see what happens when you take a woman. Type that in Google. What happens when you take a woman's virginity? You can read that.
When a woman loses her virginity, which means having penetrative sexual intercourse for the first time, the primary physical change is that her hymen may be stretched or potentially causing some minor bleeding. Well, I don't think that's the definition you're looking for.
That's what I'm looking for. She bleeds. Okay. You got
Okay. However, this is not a reliable indicator of virginity, as the hymen can naturally vary in size and shape across individuals. Some women may not have a noticeable hymen at all, but beyond this, there is no significant physical damage to the body, and the experience is primarily psychological and emotional, varying greatly from person to person.
All right. So usually when you do take a woman virginity, she bleeds. All right. That's what we do know. And I say
not all the time though, because we already dealt with that, dealing with that hymen. Right. People that do gymnastics and dance and stuff like that, they hymen get naturally stretched. So once they have sex, they don't necessarily breathe. Once they if their hymen has already been stretched out, they don't necessarily bleed when they have sex for the first time.
Right.
Okay.
But sometimes.
But hold on. But we gotta. Let me just say this: we gotta put it in context. Women in those ages wasn't playing sports, wasn't doing none of that. There wasn't even women were. We gotta always put in context.
Yes, sir.
We gotta always put in.
We already, DeAndre, what you're saying right now, we already said that in that adultery video. We already know our women wasn't doing gymnastics and dance and stuff like that. That's when we was proving that the father would take the covers off the bed and be like, you see blood, right? Because we already knew they weren't doing athletic sports like that. We already dealt with that.
We going in next, Deuteronomy 22, verse 13 to 18. But usually a woman, when you take a woman's virginity, you expect to see blood. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get that understanding that they knew this. And you know what I mean? Our forefathers knew this. This is not a secret. Deuteronomy 22, verse 13 to 18.
Okay.
Right.
Just because every woman doesn't bleed doesn't mean it's not something that we expect. You expect a woman to bleed when you take her virginity. Let's do it.
When any man takes a wife and shall go into her and shall hate her and shall make abusive charges against her and bring an evil name on her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I did not find her a maiden or a virgin. Then the father and mother of the young woman shall take and bring out the proof of the girl's maidenhood to the elders of the city at the gate. And the girl's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as wife, and he hates her. And see, he has made abusive charges against her, saying, I did not find your daughter a maiden. And yet, these are the proofs of my daughter's maidenhood. And they shall spread the garment before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and punish him, and fine him 100 pieces of silver, and give them to the father of the young woman, because he has brought an evil name on the maiden of Israel, and she is to be his wife. He is not allowed to put her away all his days.
All
But
right.
if the matter is true, but if the matter is true that the girl was not found a maiden, then they shall bring out the girl to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her to death. Stone, because she has done wickedness in Israel to whore in her father's house. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst.
See, wait, and we got that word whore again.
Oh, yep. So
That
that's
means the man.
say that
So
again.
that word whore, we know, we just gotta understand when to use it. In that First Corinthians, can't tell me that it's not talking about sex there. They becoming one with somebody that's having sex. But yeah, also you know, this is showing that usually, like I said, when you sleep with a virgin, you're supposed to be blood. You know what I'm saying? Our forefathers, that's what we expect, right? If a woman not bleeding the first time, you looking at her like, I ain't your first. You know what I'm saying? But real quick, we going back to Google real quick, right?
Okay.
And I'm just typing is blood. Type in blood and vagina lubrication. Blood and vagina lubrication. You know when a woman gets wet. But we're gonna type it.
Blood and
No, in vagina lubrication. And this is when a woman gets wet.
Seeing blood in the vaginal lubrication
I don't think
could
that.
indicate, huh?
Keep going down. Keep going down. It might be
what
something.
it said.
We might need to take a second, man, sit back. You know what I'm saying? Just understand we dealing with right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We read this.
Like that brother over there dealing with his woman on her period, talking about she wet. I'm like, hey, that made me think about that Martin. That made me think about that Martin run to that. He was like, "It was wet, baby." When he turned on the light, it was a straight bloodbath in that thing. You know what I'm talking about?
He's a red.
Oh man.
He's a red rider.
Seeing blood in the vaginal lubrication could indicate
Say it to you right here.
vaginal dryness, which often occurs due to insignificant foreplay or hormonal changes,
No, we
leading
looking.
to friction during intercourse and potential bleeding.
That's not what we looking for. It's right here. I said
What you want me to type in when a woman gets wet? What you want me to do that?
Where is this going
Where
right
you
now?
what?
Where is this going right now? This
I know that's what I'm like, man. We
I
get
one time just get right. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Mel, give us. Yeah, Mel, get.
Hey, you see that? Hey, you see that years right here? This is what happens when you deal with your woman on Friday before the Shabbat. This is what happens right now. Your mind is unclean. You feel me?
Messenger. I sent it to you on Messenger, man. I don't know, like sometimes Google be tripping, bro. But it was right there. But it's right there on Messenger. I screenshotted it. You gonna see what it's in our regular messages. Oh, that's it right there. Oh, yeah, right there. You see that? There we go. I don't know what I type. I put, you know, it type. This one.
blood and vagina lubrication. That's she put.
Yeah.
Yes. Vaginal lubrication is essentially contains a small amount of filtered blood, as it is a fluid that is transudate from the blood vessels in the vaginal walls, meaning it is essentially a filtrate of blood without the blood cells. Therefore, technically, there is a trace amount of blood present in vaginal lubrication.
There we go. So when a woman is wet, there is traces amount of blood in her wetness. Y'all just read how it happens from the blood vessels and the vagina wall. You know what I'm saying? So just like when a man, so every time you lay with a woman, that's what I was talking about with the body fluids. There is a trace
You
of
saying
blood
you saying
inside
that's
that.
a covenant every time they lay with them, then, huh?
Every time you lay with her, it's a covenant, bro. And now you get this is for brothers, you know what I'm saying, to come up. Like, so look, it takes blood for a man to get hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? For you to get an erection, that's blood flowing. You have to have blood flow, right? To even do the deed. Sperm is made up of blood, right? So when a man and woman come together, there's blood working to produce what? Life. That's what you come together for. Without blood flow, a man can't get hard. Without blood flow, a woman can't even get wet. So that blood is very important, and that blood produces life. Like the way we just read, there is life in the blood.
I agree. So blood is very important. I agree with that. It's very important.
And every time you lay with a woman, it's a covenant, bro.
You
A blood.
exchanging blood.
Okay.
Piece of blood.
And y'all combining blood, right?
Yes.
All right. Yep. And we just seen a video that it leaves DNA in the brain, right? So
yes.
Okay.
All right. So Hebrews 9, verse 1. Then we're gonna jump to 5 to finish it off.
Okay. You want me to hit it or somebody else want this?
You want me to hit it?
Got it.
Were we reading 1 through what now?
We're gonna read 1, and then we jump into 5, and we're gonna finish 5 all the way out.
Mm-hmm. Now the first covenant indeed had regulations of worship and the earthly set apart place.
Oh, my bad.
And above it, the cherubim of esteem were overshadowing the place of atonement, about which we do not now speak in detail. And these having been prepared like this, the priest always went into the first part of the tent, accomplishing the services. But into the second part, the high priest went alone once a year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the sins of ignorance of the people. The set apart spirit signifying this, that the way into the most set apart place was not yet made manifest while the first tent has a standing, which was a parable for the present time, in which both gifts and slaughterings are offered, which are unable to perfect the one serving as to his consequence.
Conscience.
Only as to foods and drinks and different washings and fleshly regulations imposed until a time of setting matters straight. But Messiah, having become a high priest of the coming good matters through the greater and more perfect tent not made with hands, this is not of this creation. That is not of this creation. Enter into the most set apart place once for all, not with the blood of goats and calves, but with his own blood, having obtained everlasting redemption. For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkle the defiled set apart for the cleansing of the flesh, how much more should the blood of the Messiah, who through the everlasting spirit offered himself unblemished to Elohim, cleansing your conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim. And because of this, he is the mediator of the renewed covenant, so that death having taken place for redemption of the transgressions under the first covenant, those who are called might receive the promise of the everlasting inheritance. For where a covenant is, it is necessary for the death of the covenanted one to be established. For a covenant over those dead is firm, since it is never valid while the covenanted one is living. Therefore, not even the first covenant was instituted without blood. For when according to the Torah, every command had been spoken by Moshe to all the people, he took the blood of the calves and goats with water and scarlet wool and hyssop and sprinkled both the book itself and all the people, saying, blood of the covenant which Elohim commanded you. And in the same way he sprinkled with blood both the tent and all the vessels of the service. And according to the Torah, almost all is cleansed with blood, and without shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness. It is necessary then that the copies of the heavenly ones should be cleansed with these, but the heavenly ones themselves with better slaughter offerings than these. For Messiah has not entered into the set apart place made by hand, figures of the truth, but into the heaven itself now to appear in the presence of Elohim on our behalf. Not that he should offer himself often, as the high priest enters into the set apart place year by year with blood not of his own. For if so, he would have had to suffer often since the foundation of the world. But now he has once for all the end of the ages to put away sin by offerings of himself. And as it awaits men to die once, and after this the judgment, so also the Messiah, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, shall appear a second time apart from sin to those waiting for him unto deliverance.
Right.
Hallelujah.
Right. So we see the covenant established with blood. It takes blood to make a covenant. And I want brothers to keep in mind, to those waiting for him unto deliverance. Just keep this in mind, right? We're going to deal with it the next verse. But who's waiting for Christ, right? Let's go to Ephesians chapter 5. And we're going to read verse 17. And we're going to read the rest of the, let's finish it off at 17. Ephesians 5. So not to get off topic, man, what I'm trying to say to you brothers is every time you lay with a woman, that's a covenant being made. Go ahead.
Ephesians 5:17 all the way through. Go ahead.
So then do not be foolish, but understand what the desire of Yahuwah is.
Wait, real quick. So do not be foolish, but understand what the desire of Yah is. Sex is not supposed to be just to do it, bro.
No, I agree with that.
I am the Most High. Go ahead.
18. And do not be drunk with wine, in which is loose behavior, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to each other in psalms and songs of praise and spiritual songs, singing and striking the strings in your heart to the Master, giving thanks always for all to Elohim, the Father, in the name of the Master Yeshua Messiah, subjecting yourselves to each other in the fear of Elohim. Wives, subject yourselves to your own husband as to the Master, because the husband is the head of the wife, as the Messiah is the head of the assembly, and he is Savior of the body. But as the assembly is subject to the Messiah, so also let the wives be to their own husbands in every respect. Love your wives as the Messiah also did love the assembly and gave himself for it, in order to set it apart and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, in order to present it to himself a splendid assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any of this sort, but that it might be set apart and blameless. In the way husbands ought to love their own wives as to their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself.
Wait. So how is that? Because you become one. We read that. When you sleep with a woman, your DNA is in her forever, bro. So that is you. What did the Most High do? He took from Adam and created Eve. So that's why he says that he who loves his wife loves himself, literally, bro. Because you are literally in this woman once you lay with her. Y'all become one flesh.
You're one flesh.
Go ahead, bro.
29. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but feeds and cherishes it, and also the master does the assembly, because we are members of his body, of his and of his bones. For this cause a man shall leave father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This secret is great, but I speak concerning Messiah and the assembly. However, you two, everyone, let each one love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she fears her husband.
All right. So let's break it down. We're gonna stay on this. All right, let's go to right there, 30. Let's go 30. Let's see 30. What does 30 say? Because we are members of his body, of his flesh, of his bones. How are we members of Christ? Through his blood. You know what I'm saying? When he died for us, we become one with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Through blood, a blood covenant. So how is your woman one with you? Through blood. Every time you lay with her, y'all become one. This is scripture. I think it's in Galatians. It says, do you not know we one with Christ? What's that script? Let's read that real quick. I don't got it in my notes. That we are all, there's no Jew or Gentile. There's neither Jew or Gentile. Where that's at?
We just read that in Romans or something last week.
Neither Jew or Gentile. It's Galatians 3 and 3 and 28.
Hold up.
Galatians. Let's get that real quick.
Three and 28.
Yeah. Let me just finish it off. 3 and 28, and you can read 29 too. Oh, you can read 27 too, huh? That's good.
You wanted me to keep reading?
Yeah, you got it up.
Start at 26. Yeah. Yeah. Start there.
For you all are all sons of Elohim through belief, Yahushua. For as many of you were first into the Messiah have put on Messiah. This is not Judah nor Greek.
Breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, you're breaking up. You want me to finish it, man? I'll finish it. You breaking up like good candy.
Okay.
All right. I'll start back at 26. For you are all sons of Elohim through belief in Messiah Yahushua. For as many of you as were immersed into Messiah have put on Messiah. There is not Yehudi nor Greek. There is not slave nor free. There is not male and female. For you are all one in Messiah Yahushua. And if you are of Messiah, then you are the seed. You are seed of Abraham and heirs according to the promise.
Right. So the Messiah is saying we are one, right? And what did Messiah do? He made a blood covenant. So that's like showing you every time you lay with that woman, you are one with that woman. You are in covenant with her. That's why he said, what man hates himself? That's the mystery. That and we just know it. That when you lay with that woman, you are imprinted on her. So why would you? So when you, that's you. Let's go to Revelations 19, verse 1.
That's why they call you Mr. and Mrs.
Come on, bro. This is literally though. This is not the law. This is spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It's not talking about law as in, oh, we wrote this down on a piece of paper. No, bro. That woman is literally you. Your DNA is in this woman forever. Every time y'all lay together, that's blood touching blood. Every time. Y'all come in agreement. Y'all make a union. All right, we're going to read Revelation. And Christ died, right? Through his blood, right? All right, so, and we all be one in Christ. So let's go Revelations chapter 19:1. Then we're going to jump 5 through 9.
And after this, I heard a loud voice of a great crowd in the heavens saying, Hallelujah, deliverance and esteem and respect and power to Yahuwah, our Elohim. Jumping to 5. And a voice came from the throne saying, Praise our Elohim, all you his servants, and those who fear him, both small and great. And I heard as the voice of a great crowd, as the sound of many waters, and as the sound of mighty thunder, saying, Hallelujah, for Yahuwah El Shaddai reigns. Let us be glad and rejoice and give him praise, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his wife prepared herself.
Wait, so the marriage of the Lamb, right? Mashiach died for us, his blood. Go ahead, for his bride. We are married to Christ through the blood that he shed for us. That's how we become one with Christ. Go ahead.
And to her it was given to be dressed in fine linen, clean and bright. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the set apart ones. And he said to me, Right, blessed are those who have been called to the marriage supper of the Lamb. He said to me, These are the true words of Elohim.
Hey, now I want to say something. Now I do sound like there's two separate things, though, right?
The blood
So,
of the King.
when he died for our sins, right, and he shed his blood, become a covenant, right? We become a covenant. So then when he comes back, though, we become as marriage, right? And there's two different things.
Yeah, he marrying us when he come back.
Yeah.
But we still one in Christ. I see what you're saying, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I just want to say all praises, man. The blood of the King, man. You got to be covered in that blood. All praise.
Blood was used to establish the covenant. But I hear what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Okay, Tobit. Huh?
Yeah, Tobit chapter 7 and the whole chapter 8.
Okay. Shad, you want to read?
Yes, sir. I'm over here singing the blood of the King.
I know. I know. I like, man, Shad got to read something because he's going to bother me all day. I didn't get to read today. Let's read something.
The blood of the King. Hey,
Chapter 7 and 8.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When you hit that dude, that Leviticus 17, he went to that Hebrews. That's nasty right there. The blood of the King. I'm reading that.
Tobit 7 and 8.
Let me jump in. All right.
Stop being nosy.
Okay, verse 1. And when they were come to Ecbatane, they came to the house of Uriah, and Sarah met them. And after they had saluted one another, they brought them into the house. Then Uriah to Edna, his woman, how like is this young man to Tobiyahu, my cousin. And Uriel asked them, from whence are you, brethren? To whom they said, we are the sons of Naphtali, which are captives in Nineveh. Then he said to them, do you know Tobiyahu, our kinsman? And they said, we know him. Then said he, is he in good health? And they said, he is both alive and in good health. And Tobiyahu said, he is my father. So that's Tobiyahu Jr. talking, right? Then Uriel leaped up and kissed him and wept and blessed him and said unto him, you are the son of an honest and good man. But when he heard that Tobiyahu was blind, he was sorrowful and wept. And likewise Edna, his woman, and Sarah, his daughter, wept. Moreover, they entertained them cheerfully, right? Moreover, they entertained them cheerfully. And after that, they had killed a ram of the flock. They set store of meat on the table. Then said Tobiyahu to Raphael, brother Azariahu, speak of those things of which you did talk in the way, and let this business be dispatched. So he communicated the matter with Uriel, and Uriel said to Tobiyahu, eat and drink and make merry. For it is meet that you should marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto you the truth. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night they came in unto her. Nevertheless, for the present, be merry. But Tobiyahu said, I will not eat nothing here till we agree and swear to one another. Uriel. Go ahead.
He said, I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night. That night they came in unto her. She got some killer stuff or what?
Like she got that deadly punana,
Deadly. Yeah. Brother be like, nah, I ain't going over there, huh?
But it said eat and drink and be merry, right? So what does that mean when he's saying eat and drink and be merry? What are they talking about right here, Yamel?
Eat and drink and be happy.
Right. They having a quote unquote ceremony, right?
And you know what happens? You know what happens when you drink? You get lustful, right?
Right. Hey, that's the same thing that has happened to Jacob, right? Jacob, right?
Yeah.
And what was the elder saying of the city? It is Lee, right? But during the ceremony, he was eating and drinking and being merry, right? He ain't understand that they saying, it is Lee. Come on. Same thing happening right here. But Tobiyahu said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear to one another, right? What they agreeing and swearing upon. Uriel said, right. Uriel said, then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for you are her cousin and she is yours. And the merciful Elohim give you good success in all things. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father. And he took her by the hand and gave her to be woman to Tobiyahu, saying, behold, take her after the Torah of Moshe, and lead her away to your father. And he blessed them. We gotta deal with that. That's something that you have to stop and deal with when it says, and take her after the Torah of Moshe. What does that mean? Come on, man. Tripping out on the lot. What does that mean? And Edna, and called Edna his woman and took paper, right? Take out the Torah of Moshe, and he blessed them, and called Edna his woman and took paper and did write an instrument of covenants and sealed it.
So when it said, and Edna, his woman, and took the paper and did write instruments of the covenant, that same paper that's in your Bible to this day, right? I think it's in most of the older Bibles where you can write these covenants in. But I don't think they got them now.
They got in some of the new ones, and especially when it's talking about who it's talking about that lineage also in that same covenants of papers, right?
Right.
The son of whom? The son of him. The son of him, right? Well, Yamil brought up earlier when he read that Numbers, the son of, from the father's lineage. But also in them older Bibles, they do have from the mother's lineage too, for sure. Then they began to eat. After Ruiel called his woman Edna and said unto her, sister, prepare another chamber and bring her in thither. Which when she had done, as he had bidden her, she brought her thither. And she wept, and she received the tears of her daughter, and said unto her, be of good comfort, my daughter. Yahuwah of heaven and earth give you joy for this sorrow. Be of good comfort, my daughter.
Okay.
Chapter 8.
Yeah.
And when they had supped, they brought Tobiyahu unto her. And as he went, he remembered the words of Raphael and took the ashes of the perfumes and put the heart and the liver of the fish thereupon and made a smoke therewith. The smell, which when the evil Ruach had smelled, he fled into the uttermost parts of Mizraim, and the angel bound him. Didn't we not read this in the Testament of Solomon?
Right. I was just gonna say that too.
Okay. And after that, they were both shut in together. Tobiyahu rose out of the bed and said, sister, arise, and let us pray that Elohim would have pity on us. Then began Tobiyahu to say, blessed are you, O Elohim of our fathers, and blessed is your holy and glorious name forever. Let the heavens bless you and all your creatures. And you made Adam and gave him Chua, his woman, for a helpmeet and stay. Of them came mankind. You have said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself. And now, O Yahuwah, I take not this, my sister, for lust, right? That's what that's supposed to be. What does it say in yours up there? It say lush. Lust. I take not this, my sister, for lust, but uprightly. That's what we brought up earlier when you said, can a man have two wives? If it's not lustful, if it's uprightly, right? Verse 7. Therefore, mercifully ordained that we may become aged together. And she said with him, Amen. So they slept both that night, and Ruiel arose and went and made a grave, saying, I fear that he also be dead. But when Ruiel was coming to his house, he said unto his woman Edna, send one of the maids, and let her see whether he be alive. If he be not, that we may bury him, and no man know it. So the maid opened the door and went in and found them both asleep. and came forth and told them that he was alive. Then Uriel praised Elohim and said, O Elohim, you are worthy to be praised with all pure and holy praise. Therefore, let your Kodashim praise you with all your creatures, and let all your angels and your elect praise you forever. You are to be praised, for you have made me joyful, and that it is not come to me, which I suspected, but you have dealt with us according to your great mercy. You are to be praised because you have had mercy of two that were Yaqub, children of their father. Grant them mercy, O Yahoo, and finish their life and health with joy and mercy. Then Uriel bade his servants to fill the grave, and he kept the wedding feast 14 days. For before the days of the marriage were finished, Uriel had said unto him by an oath that he should not depart till the 14 days of the marriage were expired. And then he should take the half of his goods and go in safety to his father, and should have the rest when I and my woman be dead.
All right, all praises. Hey, go ahead and everybody just mute for this final regard before we go into the Psalms 51. All right. So earlier we read, and there was a scripture that said that we do not be ignorant of the desire of the Most High. And, you know, growing up in captivity, brothers, we have been ignorant of that desire of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? There's a proper way to do things. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when we jump the gun and go straight to having sex, we form that entanglement, that union, what I will say was marriage. And nothing, so we grew up not understanding it. You know what I'm saying? Like Mashiach, when he was here, he yeah, like when I'm looking at marriage in the paper and all that, that's cool, right? But everything must be in spirit and in truth. You understand what I'm saying? So when you sleep with a woman, that's spiritual. There's spiritual things going on. So that paper could burn up. Anything that happened to that paper you wrote on, but you're still forever imprinted in that woman, right? That you can't take that away. So there's a reason why there's a proper way to do things. And, you know, we grew up not understanding that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I grew up just having sex with women. And women, you know, same thing. Women probably just grow up having sex with men. We wasn't taught the desire of the Most High. And that's that secret, he said, the mystery, right? That your woman, you and your woman is one flesh. Because we just read, literally, she is one with us. She retains our DNA. We are in that woman. But the Most High did it from the beginning when he formed Eve from Adam. So that's what I'm trying to show. This, I'm not, no problem reading that Tobit. I understand what I'm trying to say. There's a proper way to do things, and we lost sight of the proper way to do things. Right? When we sleep with somebody, we jump the gun.
I can agree with that 100%. I can agree with that.
And the reason why I'm reading Psalms 51 is because now we know. You know, we know the proper way to do things. Right? And we understand we shouldn't be out here just having sex with a woman, because that is a covenant.
Right.
And that's it.
It is a covenant, you know, and the Most High do got a way of doing things. So,
and that was a perfect example. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's a waiting period, you know, before you have sex with her, you got the feast or whatever. All the things, you know, even when Most High told Adam, you know, he told him to pray for 40 days. I think it was 40. You know, pray for 40 days. You know, first give me your hand and tell you gonna marry her. pray for 40 days, you know, then go into her. And they never supposed to be, you lie with this woman, and now that's your wife. Ain't never supposed to have been like that. It's supposed to have been a agreement, written agreement with witnesses. The angel was the witness for Adam, and we have witnesses in our family for us today. You know, one thing we do is we use the system that we in and go do it. Do we supposed to do it like that? No, I don't think so. I think we're supposed to do it. You know, I think the biblical way is you getting note, you know, writing that down, getting that signed. It's agreement between you and that woman, a covenant. You write that covenant, you sign that covenant, and you go get it notarized, and that's your marriage certificate. That's what I believe.
Okay.
So
Kind of, and that sounds like that's kind of similar to the way we do it now, though. You know, you signing the paper. I mean, if you get a divorce, then you got to, just like Moses, you got to write up a bill of divorcement, right, to put her away, right? You can't put her
right,
away for anything.
right, right. You know, and like, you know, you got to be careful who you marry. That's one thing for sure. You
Yeah,
know, a lot of times we get married just because the woman look good. Oh, she bad.
yeah, or you
She
get
could be
married out
the
of lust, right?
worstest
So
thing in the world. Right, right.
just like you saying, y'all, man, you know what I'm saying? We did things out of foolishness, right? We go and have sex. And now you want to marry this person. We did a lot of things wrong.
And
A
we
lot
don't
of things wrong.
understand.
So then you at the point where it's your bed, you lie in it. You know what I'm saying? Because you just can't put her away now. So
Right.
only if we knew these things before.
Right. And the deepness of it. Right. And we don't understand the deepness of it. You know what I'm saying? That once you lay with that woman, that's blood touching blood. We just read. You making a covenant. And that woman is forever you. Because her DNA is in your DNA is in her forever, bro. That's why that woman in the first one said that I will be forever imprinted on him, bro. That's what I'm saying. So we must not be ignorant of the desire of the Most High. And like I said, there's a proper way to do things. So that's it. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Once you lay with that woman becomes you. Period. So
And with
before,
that being said, knowing better, you got to do better, and that's why we raise our kids and try to teach them the truth. You know, you got to raise them up in the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got to, you know, you got to walk that truth because they watching you. They watching you.
oh, and one more time. So for sisters out there, brothers out there, that be like, man, so Dad, does my woman have this many husbands or this? Look, man, the Most High said, he winked at our ignorance, man. He knew we was growing up in this messed up mentality. You know what I'm saying? But he said he requires all men to repent one time. And just like he told the adulterous woman, you know, sin no more, bro. With this knowledge we have now, we must use it. You know what I'm saying? So don't just be out there. If you married to your woman, that's your woman, bro, for sure. You know what I'm saying? If you're single, be careful who you lay with, because now you know sex. I'm still standing on it. That sex is marriage. Because y'all become one. You understand? That's it.
Hey, can we read some before we read Psalms 51?
Hey, you can't stand on that when we read the word concubine. When we read about concubine, you can't stand on that no more.
You do got a point there because you got two different things, right? You have wives and you have concubines. But but that don't mean that you're not one though.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what we really been signing out today. We understand the mixture of the DNA, and y'all become, you know, one in that type of aspect. That's not saying that you're married to that woman.
But
so though.
Well, I'm standing on it because sex is sacred, bro.
We understand that. We understand sex is sacred, and we wasn't supposed to be getting down like that. But it's still not saying that just because you had sex with a woman is sex, y'all are married. It's not saying that. We understand sex is sacred, but that doesn't make that your wife or your husband. It's just like Big Man saying, what's the difference between a whore then? Are you saying, oh, she has many husbands? You feel me? Or even
the Most High.
What we have to ask
your whore?
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So I got my wife. We might not necessarily be married with the paperwork, like you say, right? But then I go sleep with another woman. Did I commit adultery because you're saying I'm sleeping with her and that's my wife, or did I gain another wife?
What I'm saying is that's going outside the will of the Most High. We shouldn't be doing that. I'm saying we was operating in right.
But if I do it, what is that? Is it adultery or do I have another wife?
Bro, hey, I feel like you imprinted on her. You go sleep with another woman.
Is it adultery or do I have another wife?
That would be your wife,
Okay, so there's no such thing as adultery.
Wait. Man, these are all good, valid points, man. But again,
no such thing. The commandments that we read when it says thou shalt not commit adultery, that doesn't exist in what you're saying. Because I'm married to my woman right now. But if I go sleep with another woman, you saying that's my wife. Adultery doesn't exist.
Other God.
If you go look at Solomon, it answers that question. Again, you got to look at wives, concubines, princesses, right? Because it didn't say 1,000 wives.
Right. It says 700 wives, 300 concubines. Then you look at that definition of a concubine, it's somebody the man is sleeping with, even the what's that other word?
But I know Paul said in one aspect is very I've grown out a discussion about this, right? The discussion says it's better to marry than
to burn.
Come on, man. Right. What does that mean then? What does that mean? Right. What does it mean when it says it's better to marry than to burn?
Not to be sleeping around horn.
Exactly. He said it's better to marry one woman than to sleep around and be horn out here. Come on, man. We're missing all these scriptures because we're trying to push what we want to see.
Wait, hold on.
So what does it mean? Wait. I got another question. Well, I've been holding my tongue. You said I could speak at the end.
Right, Fox. You had I had more than one wife. So what you mean it's better to marry one woman?
What?
Four fathers.
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
No, he made the point of, right? You say Solomon had all these different wives, right? And you say it's better to marry that one woman than to burn, but the man has 700 wives.
Right, but who do you know? What other man besides that what other man can you prove? Wait, let me ask this question. What other man in scriptures can you prove besides kings that have multiple wives like this?
Abraham, Jacob had more than one wife, Rachel and Leah.
Right, that was given to them from their wives. Right? These people, when you start looking at these kings, they was done out of lust. Straight up, it was done out of lust. Ain't no man want 700 wives. You ain't got that much time to give 700 wives. It's lust.
Righteous men. They still had more than one wife, and they was righteous men. So you can't say it's better to marry than to one woman than to burn. No, because we have righteous men that have more than one wife.
Wow,
man, this is good, man.
So that's why we just dealt with the son of Adam to show you what a real righteous man looked like. When he come in the flesh, what we just read, the blood is in the flesh, right? And we just seeing the righteous man how you supposed to walk. You looking at them and you're saying these are righteous men. These are examples of how you should not walk. David did things and it was written of how you should not walk. Solomon did things and turned away from the Most High and how you should not walk. And you saying these are righteous men. Mashiach came and showed you what a righteous man looked like. Period, man. Period.
These
are righteous men. He had 700 wives and his wives led him astray. His wives led him astray at the end.
What are we going to say about Abraham then? What are we going to say about Jacob then? Do they not have good names? Let's not do that.
He was never led astray. They was never led astray. And again, their wives were given to them from their wife. These women were given to them from their wife. Solomon took these women as wives and concubines. Sarah gave Hagar to Abraham.
To burn and be one woman, you can't say that. You can't say that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what does it mean? Okay, so that means when these fallen angels ran into these women, that means they was married to these fallen angels too, right?
Hey, I'm just going. Look,
I'm just asking you a question. Are they married to these fallen names?
We can go back and forth. What I'm saying.
So what about what? Okay, what about when
I got a question, Shaq. I
still got questions. No, it's my turn to speak. Y'all said I can talk at the end. I still
Come
have
on, man. Come on, man.
When Lot, no, I got one more question, then I'll leave it alone. I got one more question. When Lot slept with his daughters, that means he's married to. That means marriage is sacred, man. So that means when he slept with his daughters, that means he's married to his daughters now also.
Yeah, sex is sacred. Sex is sacred. That was what?
All right, he married to his daughters now. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, Shaq. Yamel, I know you got something to say. Shaq, I'm saying, are you saying there's not an intent? Okay, if I have a girl, okay, now I'm still thinking that all this stuff. You next time, Yamel, you need to put context into modern day and ancient days, because there's a lot in here. That you can't mix like that, but it's for good. I understand on both sides, but I'm saying this. Let me understand this one thing, Chad. If I was to have we'll use your example. You have a wife and you went to another girl, and you had sex. Isn't there intent? Hey, isn't there a thought of intent? I'm gonna hit and just relieve myself, or I'm gonna hit. I know this girl. We'll just say you know this girl for a good match, or you have a feeling, or you got a feeling a good match. You know, like this girl could be. I'm attracted. She's good. So the question. Let me restate the question with that, saying that. Is there an attention in there? I'm gonna sleep with this girl, and then I don't marry her. That would be adultery. Or is there an intent to say, well, I know this girl, I want to have sex with her and make her my wife? And is that two different intents? That's what I want to. And I don't know.
So let me deal with that. With that same intention. Are you saying to the woman that you're dealing with, that's your wife? Are you saying, hey man, it's another woman over here that I want to deal with, and I'm gonna lay with her and I'm gonna make her my wife? Are you doing that are you saying that to that other woman that you're married to?
I only could rebuttal is that what the only rebuttal I could say to that, to be an honest rebuttal to that, I would have to say, would you do that, Shag? Would you hit first and then ask later, or would you bring it upon it that way? I could only ask it. It would be setting up. It would be setting up a.
I didn't came to my woman before and said, playfully, but seriously, but playfully, truly playfully, I'm about to get me a second wife around here. And you know my woman said, I'll whoop your ass. That was her exact words to me. I'll whoop your ass.
So, hey, what you just said though goes back to Yamel saying we did things out of ignorance, right? Because now would you say, would you do that, right? Would you actually do that? Because is it intent? These two separate things. Is intent? You doing it out of lust?
Okay,
or
but
you doing it out of
now the second part of it, Adam, is my woman. When I said it to her, she said, "I'll whoop your ass." Now, when I go do it secretly, did I commit adultery, or did I?
Yeah, you committed adultery because you married. You committed adultery.
And
let me
ahead,
say something real quick, and then y'all go ahead. Okay, if sex is marriage. And just like the question that y'all just asked, Shad, if he got a wife and then he wanted to sleep with another woman, and if he laid with that woman, that becomes his wife. What if this woman already married and she cheating on her husband too? They could be married to double. You know what I'm saying?
That was my next one. All praises. I'm glad you posed that. That was my next question.
Well, y'all both would be committing adultery.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, brother.
No, adultery don't exist when you say sex is marriage. That's what we getting at.
Wait. You gotta throw that out though first, because nobody said that yet. I'm just saying though, right? Because if you're married and then you're gonna sleep
that's what the discussion is about, brother.
Right. But I'm saying with the question though, you will be committing adultery. I know that's what you Yamel think though. You know what I'm saying? But you will both be committing adultery.
What I'm saying to brothers is this, man. Let us not be ignorant of the desire of Elohim. Yeah, we could go all day if we did this week, but the whole thing is, if we operated right, like the Bible said, there's no sin. There's nothing sin against doing good, right? If we operate in the way we're supposed to operate, we wouldn't have to worry about that. Sex is sacred. We shouldn't just be.
So that means the title should be A Woman's Purpose. Because that's all I got out of this discussion, a woman's purpose. I never got that sex is marriage. I got a woman's purpose for sure.
It's sex marriage, brother. Because when you lay with that woman becomes you. You guys become one flesh. What is being married? Being married is you becoming one with a woman. Like I said,
becoming one.
Hey, when I become one with this woman, me and this woman agreed that she wouldn't sleep with another man, and I wouldn't sleep with another woman.
Hey, can I ask? Is it too early to ask? Right, respectfully, your thoughts, your opinions, respectfully. Do you think it's marriage? Everyone, y'all honest opinion. Respectfully.
My thing is, whether you think sex is marriage or not, then
you'll be real quick so we can hear y'all, man.
I'm gonna lift you up.
You understand? You shouldn't be out here just sleeping around, regardless. So whether I believe sex is marriage or not, I'm not gonna still be out here committing fornication or adultery. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You shouldn't be.
Stop hitting me.
Doing that.
But we understand
Look at me.
what we should not be doing is not what it means, though. We understand we should not be committing these acts. That don't mean sex is marriage, though. Just because we should not be doing it and are doing it, that doesn't mean sex is marriage, y'all. Straight up.
Hey, some brothers still standing on it. Your Psalms 51, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, sex is sacred, brother. You shouldn't just be out here.
Hey, we agree sex is sacred, but sex ain't marriage. We agree sex is sacred.
That woman, blood touches blood, and that's what's going on. You make a covenant every time you lay with a woman, period.
That don't mean it's marriage.
All right. Psalms 51,
like he said, the case you taking away adultery and being a whore.
Okay. Yeah.
No such thing as a whore. There's no such thing as a whore or adultery. That commandment doesn't exist when you say sex is marriage.
We could take away adultery. We could take away being a whore, because what's the desire of the Most High?
You can't take away these commandments. These commandments are firm. These are what we should stand by.
If we operated in the right standing, we wouldn't have to worry about adultery.
That's a big if. That's a big ass if.
If we operate the way the Most High intended it to be, there wouldn't be no reason for adultery or whore. The Most High.
So that's why the commandment says do not commit adultery, because that's a big if, for sure.
All right. Well,
but then you're saying, and then in a sense, are you saying that Abraham committed adultery with having?
No, go read the scripture. Sarah said, "Take my female servant." Abraham went out on her.
Why he didn't? Because him and Sarah are one flesh, bro. So
already.
But if he went behind Sarah's back, then that's Cause you went behind somebody. You're one with Sarah. Y'all got to come to that agreement. Y'all not understanding. If we followed the way the Most High intended things to be, we wouldn't have to worry about a whore, an adulterer. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, bro.
And we need to read that.
I get what he's saying.
We need to read that 1 Corinthians again, because to say that this is sleeping with a whore, that was all the way wrong. If I'm just being 100, man. That was not what that scripture is saying. It's talking about sleeping with a whore. That scripture does not say that.
Go back. Let's look at it. Cause why would you say that? It don't say that.
Back then, let's read it. Let's just read it together. For sure. Let's read it together.
Let's get that big up. That 1 Corinthians. And we could keep this up. It's good, huh? Let's get that 1 Corinthians. Let's see. Why wouldn't it say not a whore? What could it be talking about?
See then. Let's read it and see what it's talking about.
1 Corinthians.
Yeah, it's that 6. Let's see what Aqua started off at.
You started from wherever you started it out.
14, I believe.
Let me see. It started verse 14 through 20. Okay.
I should have put harlot then in the definition. Oh yeah, my phone. Okay.
Okay. Y'all get it. I don't get it. My name's Bennett. I ain't in it.
I got it. 14. And Elohim and the Most High and Elohim who raised up the Master, who raised up Mashiach, shall also raise us up through his power. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Mashiach? So once you come into this truth and you know who Mashiach is, you're a part of him, right? Like you say, Mashiach is in you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shall I then take the members of Mashiach and make them members of whore? Make them members of a whore. That means if Mashiach is in you, should I continue to go be sleeping around with all these women?
Or
let it not be.
Other guys, right?
Go ahead.
Or that too. Yes, sir.
I agree. That's what like adultery could mean you slept with another woman, or adultery could mean you worship another god. We understand that.
Well, really, idolatry. When you say idolatry, that's more
idolatry and adultery.
Idolatry. That's the word idolatry. That's when you start worshiping other gods. Yeah. Adultery is when it gets physical, for sure.
But the Bible said Israel played the harlot, right? And worship other. Go ahead.
Right, that's a parable. That's a parable. We know that. Come on now. All right. Or do you not know that he who is joined to a whore is one body? So it say he who is joined to a whore is one body. It's not saying that you went to go sleep with a whore. It's saying that you're the one out here whoring. Your body, Mashiach is in you, but you're the one that's out here whoring. Let's keep reading. For he says, for the Most High says, the two shall become one flesh. And he who is joined to the Master is one spirit. Flee whoring. You see that? Flee whoring. It didn't say flee from sleeping with whores. It said flee whoring.
Yeah,
all that means flee from you. That means flee from your desires of sleeping with other women. It didn't say, hey man, flee from sleeping with all these whores. We got to understand when we say flee whoring, that means in what you're doing, man or woman.
Keep reading. I'll keep reading. We got to keep reading, so we got to go ahead and deal with that.
Every sin that a man does outside the body, let me read that again. Every sin that a man does is outside the body, right? But he who commits whoring sins against his own body, not sleeping with nobody. It said he who commits whoring sins against his own body. Who that is sleeping with other women continuously, or she that is sleeping with other men continuously, sins against your own body.
And that's sexual sin. When you come together carnally, like that's a sin.
But against your own talking about sleeping with a whore. This is not talking about sleeping with another.
All right, go ahead.
Or do you not know that your body, not who you sleeping with, that your body is the dwelling place of the set apart spirit? Or do you not know that your body, not who you sleeping with, it's not talking about whores and who you sleep with. Do you not know that your body is the dwelling place of the set apart spirit who is in you, right? Mashiach, which you have from Elohim, and you are not your own. Your body is not your own. So that's saying, don't make your body a whoring dwelling place.
Okay, then
it's not talking about sleeping with whores. It's talking about don't make your body a whore.
That's why Sarah and Abraham had to come together and agree on sleeping with Hagar, because when you're married to somebody, your body the husband body is not his own, neither is the wife body. That's why they had to come in agreement for Abraham to sleep with Hagar. Your body is not your own.
Okay, that's fine, but this is not talking about sleeping with a whore.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's talking about you whoring of your own body and your own flesh. That's exactly what this is talking about. It said if Mashiach is in you, don't make your body a whore. How is Mashiach gonna be in you, but you out here sleeping with all these different women? Or how is Mashiach gonna be within you, but you out here sleeping with all these men? That's what this is talking about, man. Straight up.
Stuff like that. That's why he said if you join if you're sinning, the Holy Spirit flee from you. He's not dealing with you. So that's why I say, wow. So what are you saying? So what you saying when you sleep with a whore, you become one with that whore, not dealing with you, bro. But you sleep with
whore. You know what? That right there, what you saying, I agree with 100% true, right? But it's two different things because you gotta let the scripture speak, right? Because this is not talking about sex. You know what I'm saying? This Corinthians 6. Because you could be whoring out the other gods and everything, but you know, respectfully, bro, just being real, you know, the scripture is speaking on something else, though.
I'll pray.
I be whoring out, and I understand the spirit, but also the physical part too. You become one. Just like
you're right. You do become one.
Right. We're not disagreeing with that. We're not disagreeing with that, but that's not what this scripture is talking about. That's what we're saying.
One in the flesh, go up.
Can I read can we pull up Ephesians 5:20, Ephesians 5:25? I could read it. It says, "Husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up to her." It says here, husband, love your wives. It says multiple, you know, and then I just want to read this one here.
It also says husbands. That's multiple too. We're talking about multiple people loving multiple. We're not talking about loving multiple women. You can't say husband, love your wife. We're not just talking to one person. We're talking to everybody. Husbands. Everybody that's a husband, all you husbands, love your wives. Come on, man. It's not saying having multiple wives.
We can say Messiah came according to the flesh. But when we read that Corinthians and it says the two become one flesh, then why we I don't understand, bro. If it said the two become, if you sleep with a whore, that you become one flesh with her. It don't say one, that's flesh.
So what if she's not a whore then? What if she's a virgin the first time?
Can I read this? Go. Sorry, Yamel. Go ahead.
It says it says to be you become one flesh. That's what it says, flesh, bro. We'll say when you lay with a whore, you become one flesh. Y'all become one flesh.
Mm-hmm. Because you lay with her. Correct.
Yes.
You lay with her.
Yes, bro.
What about this? Yes, Yamel or Shag. It says in Leviticus 21:13 through 14, he shall take a wife in her virginity, making virginity importance. So let me read that again. He shall take a wife in her virginity, a widow or a divorced woman or a woman that has been defiled or a prostitute. These shall not marry, but he shall take as his wife a virgin of his own people. So isn't there I'm not saying anything.
If you go up, is that talking about the Levites right there? I'm just asking.
I'm not. You gotta pull it up.
I don't know.
No, that is talking about the Levites. It's all good.
But let me what I'm saying is there's in that snippet. I know there's a larger part maybe to the Levites, but if there's obviously a importance put on virginity, and virginity is sex, and he's saying take the virgin and take a wife in her virginity, taking a woman that is a virgin over anything that has been before, whether it's a divorced woman, a woman has defiled, or a prostitute, these he shall not marry. So he take that. So he's going forth and picking before marriage. He's putting virginity on top of before marriage. But I think that we're arguing 2 points that have significant value together anyway. But I'm just gonna put it out. What you're saying does have content, Shag, but I'm a more of a believer before this that sex is a something that is for me more. I know that you have to get married underneath God to make the union correct, but I'm gonna be honest. I can maybe just speak for myself. If I could do it back again, I would pick a virgin. I would pick a virgin woman, not only just because she hasn't seen another man. I know that virgin women stay with their dude. It takes a lot for them to break the cycle. Like I've talked to women, I didn't really want to leave my first, or he had a super small dick and she was looking at something different. But the whole thing about that's nor here nor there. I just think that these scriptures really tailor to a woman that's a virgin and keeps that at the highest consideration, even though marriage needs to be laid down to move forward in life. Maybe I didn't say that, but that's what I think, and I think that's what I think. That's what I think this scripture is saying, and many other scriptures are saying. And if we're talking about virginity, what's the whole? Why are you talking about virginity? Because it's sex. It's pure. It's I think you want to know where I think we're all being too presumptuous with. It would be great if Shauna was in here because we're acting like we know what it is
I am
to
in
be.
here. I hear it all. I hear it all.
Speak it up. Put the final word from the woman then. Shauna, come on.
I hear it. But I mean, everybody got their own, perceptions of it. But to me, it's all, personally, me, I wish I would have done things differently because anything, sex is like overrated. That's why they have all these diseases and stuff going around because it's supposed to be a sacred thing. It took me old to figure that out. You understand what I'm saying? It's something that it's a temple. He says, keep your body clean, period. Whatever you do, eat, drink, speak, sexual, everything is in ordinance. It's all one. True. But can people, a lot of people don't have self-control. So they mind is everywhere, the body's everywhere, everything's everywhere because they're not one with the Most High.
That goes back to what Paul says, better to marry than to burn then.
Right. So I'm to the point where I don't want to get back into that. Oh, I want to lay. I don't need to lay with nobody. I got myself in self-control, because I'm more closer to, the Most High, and I don't even think about it, and being with all this stuff of people uncovered and, they just making it more acceptable, all this other stuff they got going on and people don't know how to stay married. They're not even thinking about marriage. It's just laying around and doing whatever. They're not into the word. They're not into anything. So that's what we need to get back into how we feel so we can explain this to somebody else that may be going through these. I need 5 women. And what do you need them for? What is the whole? You see what happened to all the kings and everything? They went down. They didn't go up. It was smart, very intelligent. These weren't no dummies. So guess what? Neither are we. So we have to take heat. Neither are we. So what we gonna do? We know what they did. So and they put it out there for us to see that. So do we want to do that? No, we don't. So I'm just like I'm gonna keep it simple. Probably take it off track. But when your parents said, "Do you want to go to the bridge?" Is all your friends jump off that bridge? Are you?
Right.
No.
Yep. Good point, Shauna.
So it goes back to, like I said, the desire of the Most High, bro. Think about the fruits of the Spirit. There's no law against doing good. right? There's no law against doing things the right way, the way that the Most High intended to do it, right? There's no law in you know what I'm saying, doing it the right way. So the Most High got a certain way of things. Before you get to sex, there is certain things you have to do. But once you have that sex, that seals the deal. You become one with that person, bro. That's why your DNA stays in that woman. The sex is what seals the deal, what really makes y'all one. Paper don't make you one. The physical act of doing it, that makes you one. And that's all I'm saying. Like I said, we're saying two significant things. They both matter. True indeed, when done the right way. But sex seals the deal.
And we understand that. We understand that, but they just that's all. That's all I'm saying. I understand sex is sacred and that whole matter. We're not even disagreeing with that. That's the thing. You keep on getting it. You keep on saying sex is sacred and all that, and we agree. I agree completely, but that doesn't say sex is marriage.
Well, that's what phrases are, and that's fine. Like I said, there's no law in doing good. So the Most High intended things to be done the proper way. That's it. And there's a way you do things. And like I said, and it don't change the fact that once you get physical, you can put anything you want on paper, but if you ain't going that woman, your DNA ain't in her. But once you go,
but you read Toby one time, and now you keep bringing up paper, but you never remember when we was reading about Adam and Eve, and we were saying who's the first judge, who married Adam and Eve, who brought them in together into jointness, the Most High. That's what it is. That's what the symbolization of. You might put the only reason. Listen, the only reason you're putting it on paper is because that's what you have to do in this life. Even when people bought land, they have to do what? Put it on paper.
That's
when you're putting it on paper with marriage, it's saying if something happens to me, I'm joined to this person, so everything goes to this person, so they can handle that.
Yeah.
That's what that paper means. That's all that paper means. So now when you get that certificate of divorce, it's basically saying I'm not with this person anymore. They can't control anything after me once I die. That's why we put it on paper. This is just solidification. Paper is solidification. That's it. Everything is still spiritual. So when you join with somebody and spiritually, you're saying we are one spiritually. And when you transgress against me, you're transgressing basically against the Most High, because he said we are one, right? So that's when adultery kicks in, right? Because y'all are one now. Now you basically went against your one fleshliness, or who you are one with, right? So that's why we get a commandment about committing adultery, because you one with this person. But when you keep on saying paper, 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 that's just solidifying the laws of the land. That if anything happens to me, this person is responsible. Because if it don't, guess what? They'll give it to your mom or your daddy or stuff like that. You feel me? If you ain't officially married to this person. That's all we're saying when we're talking about paper, right? So that's why it comes the certificate when you are married, and that's why if y'all get divorced, you know what I'm saying? We don't want that to happen. But if that was to happen, because on the laws of what? Adultery. That's the only reason the Most High say you can get divorced. Because of what? Adultery. So you can't just say, oh, anybody I sleep with, and then I went to go sleep with this person while I'm married, but now this other person is my husband or wife. You can't do that, because now you disregarding adultery. You know what I'm saying?
If things was done the right way, we wouldn't have to worry about that adultery ever happening. That's what I'm saying.
To worry about it then, now. Straight up.
There's no law against it. All I'm saying is, all right, we going in circles, bro. That's Psalms 51, Yahuda. We're going in circles, bro. Either y'all gonna say sex is marriage or not. That's it. I'm saying that
I can deal with that. Say sex is marriage or it's not, man. Straight up.
I'm gonna say this. That Yamel, you did a great job. You took a very I talked to people that talked to a lot of different camps and delegations, Black Israelites, Jews, all together, and that is a point that the point that you brought up is a point of division and not a point of division, but amongst different. I would say each camp has different beliefs, and it is a big thing that it was a good topic, but it's a topic that anybody that believes in the Bible has opinion on it. And you know, you did a good job at it. And I just want to say, you know, you did a good job at letting us critique you down. It was well put together, the scriptures, best, you know, and my point that I want to make, not to is side what you're saying, Shag. This is something that, you know, you could expound upon in another time with even more knowledge to get it down even more packed. And I think that it was very you challenge yourself on this one, because a lot of different camps, groups, I don't know how many camps or groups on it, but there's a lot of people, whether it's Christian, it doesn't, what you brought up is a point of contention for a lot of beliefs in amongst the Judeo-Christian, Israelite, Black Hebrews, and Jews. So, you know, good job. And we're not, when I just want to speak for everybody, we're not critiquing you at all. We're just trying to, you know, we're just being how we usually be. But good job, brother.
Most definitely, bro. I agree with you, man. Yeah, Mel, you brought it out. Understanding, edification, you know what I'm saying? A clear level of understanding. But most importantly, we let the scripture speak for what it says. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. But
oh, praise God. So we reading the Psalms 50.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm to it now. I just want to say, yeah, it was good, you know, and for clarity, for us, ain't none of us got married biblically, the biblical way. Nobody. So it ain't no argument. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no argument there. You know what
just
I'm saying?
trying to get understanding on it all, right? Just getting understanding.
Right. And like, yeah, you did a good job showing that sex means a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's the sex was the consecrate the marriage, right? That's what it was for, right? To seal the deal, basically.
Spiritually,
you know? Yeah, to seal the deal. Just like, you know, when Shag brought out about the paper, which was a real good point. That point right there is perfect, because if you with somebody and you're not married to them, if you die and your mother hates your wife, or if your father hates your wife, and you're not married to him, and you got this and that, everything goes to your parents. And they might not even like your wife. So your wife or your woman. So your woman get puts out on the street and she ain't got nothing. So these things that we got to think about when it comes to, you know, these situations. You know what I'm saying? Because that can happen.
Good point.
You know, I'm with my woman. If I wasn't married, I just say we married because we had sex. If something was to happen to me, my family, I don't like Kim. I'm coming to get all that. I don't care where you go. His banking account ain't in your name. That's coming to me. All that stuff goes to my parents and not to the woman I was calling my wife. That's a good point. That's all I just want to say. You know, all praises though. All points was good though. You know what I'm saying? But you can't overlook that fact, what I just brought up right there and what Shag was talking about with the paperwork. I just want to bring that out too.
Oh, we good. We can end it on that. Hey, and we just gonna read this Psalms 51, bro, because at the end of the day, we probably all out here was fornicating at one time or sleeping around. But now we kind of got an understanding of the importance of relationship, marriage, becoming one with someone. So this Psalms 51, and that's it, huh?
Man.
Psalms 51. Show me favor, O Elohim, according to your loving commitment, according to the greatness of your compassion. Blot out my transgression. Wash me completely from my guilt and cleanse me from my sin. For I know my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you alone have I sinned and done evil in your eyes, that your might be proven right in your words. Be clear when you judge. See, I was brought forth in crookedness, And in sin, my mother conceived me. See, you have desired truth in the inward parts. And in the hidden part, you make me know wisdom. Cleanse me with hyssop, and I am clean. Wash me, and I am whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones you have crushed rejoice. Hide your face from my sins and blot out all my crookedness. Create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your set-apart spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your deliverance, and uphold me, noble spirit. Let me teach transgressors your ways, so that sinners turn back to you. Deliver me from blood guilt, O Elohim, Elohim of my deliverance. Let my tongue sing aloud of your righteousness. O Yahuwah, open my lips, and that my mouth declare your praise. For you do not desire slaughterings, or I would give it. You do not delight in the sin and offering. The slaughterings of Elohim are a broken spirit, a heart broken and crushed, O Elohim. These you do not despise. Do good and your good pleasure to Zion. Build the walls of Jerusalem. Then you would delight in slaughterings of righteousness, in ascending offerings and complete ascending offering. Then young bulls will be offered on your slaughter place.
All praises.
Praise to the Most High. That was good.
All praises.
Man, I love this song. Yeah. All praises.
Right on.
That was a good discussion, though. That was, hey. Yeah. That was good.
That was
really
good.
like them, but
Really good.
And the good thing is that, like, you get pushback. You know what I'm saying? And you get to defend yourself.
And we all
Can't nobody
get
sit there
at
and
the
tell
same
you
time.
this what you, and ain't nobody can tell you this what you gotta believe. Ain't nobody tell you that, right? Can't nobody sit there and say, "Hey, I'm bringing this lesson out, and you better listen and shut up."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's how it presented to me that first, though. You know what I'm saying? Brother was just like, man, you better put that brother on mute, listen and shut up. That's how it presented to me first.
And that's only because we know how you get out. You know. We know how you get out.
All I heard was don't speak the truth. Big man said, don't speak that truth, brother. Right on.
Nah, you've been into it. You know, we ain't calmed you down. You've been arguing all day.
I wasn't arguing with nobody. I said I love that Leviticus, even though it's